If you like the story, you can support the author on Patreon. Link is in the description.
Chapter 1, Reincarnation. In a dark room where the only source of light were some torches lit in the middle of the room. In the room there were 10 huge figures with different no of tails from 0 to 9 were surrounding a human figure with pale skin and white robes listening to him speak. There was a huge seal on the floor with a megatama in front of each figure. The old man standing in the middle of the circle was once known as Hago Romo Otsutsuki, the sage of 6 paths. The one who sealed rabbit goddess, preventing her from causing destruction of the human race and freeing them from her tranny, or so what the world was told. My time has come, I don't have much long to live. I used my ability creation of all things to separate each one of you, though I thought there would be 9 on you, said the man, looking at the huge figure of a cute-looking golden fox, closed eyes and a crack in the middle of his head with a budding tail behind his back with complicated emotions in his eyes but still continuing. Tsukimi, Shikaku, Matatabi Isabu, Sun Gaku, Kokuo, Seiken, Chimei, Jayaki, Karama, all of you are like my grandchildren. After I leave you are to keep the balance in world and have a friendly relationship with all the humans in the world. Your duty is to keep guarding this temple. Even if you are apart, you will always be together. When you all get together again to protect the world, you will understand what true power is. Many different emotions could be seen in the eyes of these small figures, from sadness, worry and care, every single one of them except the one with closed eyes. Karama, the small orange 9-tailed fox, was the most affected, even to the point releasing some tears. I will always be watching you from Pure Land. Don't fight among yourself. Take care of each other. While he was speaking, his figure started to get more and more transparent. Grandpa, don't leave us alone, I will miss you. Big brother, you should also tell him to stay with us, Karama said in a childish crying voice, but his voice was filled with sadness and agony. His last sentence was directed at the figure who was sitting with his eyes closed, as if whatever that was happening had nothing to do with him. Tsukimi was called Big Brother by all these cute little creatures. He took care of them from their birth, and as they grew he indulged them in their talks to satisfy their curiosity. They grew close to him, especially due to the special connection the 9 held with him. All of the 9 separated beasts see the man as their parent who gave life to them. Looking at Hago Romo, who they come to see as an annoying grandfather but still the one they come to care about, they felt sadness. Even the troublemakers like Shikaku, Sun Gaku, and Seiken were sad and their eyes turned moist. Tsukimi, who had known the man since he was baby, ran around naked with maids chasing him. He was one of the few people who knows that man's darkest secrets. Even his brother, who passed away while protecting the seal of the moon, had his own shortcomings. He felt nothing about his departure. He knew the guy had some way to stay around, he was that shrewd to let things take their course. Karama was the one who spent most of his time with the old man. Others also cared about him and were attached to him, but most of the time they ran off in the wild following their instincts. Even with his proud nature he was a good boy. Hago Romo looked at the orange furry fox and smiled, turning his eyes to Golden Fox to speak. Tsukimi, you are the remaining cluster of the 10 tails, residue left after separation of all 9 of them, but still you are most intelligent of them all. If it was me 500 years ago I would have sealed you, but after spending time with you I can to accept you as my grandson. I hope you keep yourself safe and don't lose control and get stronger. Hago Romo used to be an ambitious man, seeking power to compete with his brother. He has done his fair share of bad things in his life. He even sealed his own mother in the moon, who was devastated by her own husband's betrayal and went mad due to consuming chakra fruit without any preparations. Till now he feels sorrow for his mother but still does nothing to rescue her from eternal damnation. Even with his talent in seals and knowledge he gained after many years of existence, he couldn't do anything. Tsukimi was the seed planted to destroy the planet by the Otsutsuki clan to extract its power in the form of chakra fruit, and due to the contaminated source of the planet the 10 tails consumed, it became violent and lost to its instincts. The name Tsukimi was given to him by Kagaya, with whom he has been since he was assigned to her within the Otsutsuki clan. He came to his senses once his power was separated in 9 parts and the remaining power formed, connecting his consciousness to it while forming a body of a cute little golden fox. Tsukimi knew everything that had happened since his birth. He came to experience what humans are capable of at their best and lowest, even to their loved one. Tsukimi, who was addressed, did not feel anything towards the words of the dying man. He did not like nor hated the old man. Why would he when the man is dying, even though he can interfere with minor things in the world as a planetary level being, but still he is dying? He knew the guy used his grandfather-like persona to get close to people, even with him who was older than him, which confused the fox. Sometimes he says idiotic things, that's the conclusion old fox came to. Now that I think of it, Isn't there that guy in the future that acts like him, what was his name, Ahirazen Sarutobi? The Bijus are immortal due to them being the embodiment of chakra, they just need time and they are back to their full power. Which is why the only way to deal with them is to seal them. There may be some other way to know what will happen in the future. Chapter 2, Reincarnation, 2. For the first time Tsukimi, the golden fox opened his eyes. A pair of purplish-silver predatory reptile eyes covered in a ring with 2 tomo on it, calmness, power and wisdom deep in the eyes could be seen hidden deep within them. He looked at the Rikudo Sennin and said, "Go away already, old man, and what grandson? I am the oldest here, even though I just gained intelligence, my existence is far older than you." The old sage just smiled and shook his head, his figure blurred away and Karama broke in tears. Seriously, scheming till the end, what's up with these old men and schemes? That old fool finally left, Tsukimi thought, and turned to look at all the remaining others with wonder. Looking at the future-tailed beasts, especially Kyuubi no Yuko in such a state is weird, but they are also living beings. Wait, aren't they technically my kids? He thought, only to hurriedly shake his head as if trying to remove those thoughts. No, don't think about such pointless things, ugh, I hate kids. Well, let's calm them down. The golden fox reached out to pet Karama and said, "Don't cry like a human baby, don't want to worry the old man in his afterlife, do we? So calm down all of you." As his gaze moved through everyone present, he continued. "Take some rest, walk around a bit to calm yourself down, or talk with me. We are going to be together for the rest of our lives, so we have to be there for each other." Everyone scattered away while Tsukimi was left alone. While he was alone, his thoughts wandered. I got some time to check the progress in the system. Yes, I have a system which was given to me by myself. Confusing, right? It is at first, but once you learn about me it is not so much. Flashback. Tsukimi's POV. This is not your typical reincarnation story. I didn't die young or die due to some heavy-duty vehicle. I even lived the life of my dreams. I died after living a happy life. I lived till my 80s and had all the money I earned, enough for me to spend 2 lives without worry. How, you ask? Well, why won't you? It's everyone's dream after all. I got into investing and got to know what money is. After earning enough, I stopped myself from earning more actively. My passive income was still there. I made my parents live a good life and they passed away happily. I was an only child, but still I had true friends, but there was something I could never find in my 80 years of living, that was true love. I was fairly handsome, not too much but still enough to get by. There was never really a girl who could make me fall in love with her, and once I had money, only the ones after it came to me. I tried dating several women, but they somehow managed to make me stay away from relationships even more. When someone cares more about what you have or what you do more than what you are, you just feel tired of that thing. So I died single and virgin. I am not the one to sleep with just any woman. If I wanted something like that, why not pay for it? At least you know they are in for it because of the money. I kissed my girlfriends, but my every relationship ended unsuccessful as I never came to like their personality. That doesn't mean I didn't enjoy my life. Turns out life is more than just getting a woman to get married and have kids. I went on many trips around and came across animes, among them I like Naruto the most. Not because of the MC but due to the world itself. I liked the concept of chakra and the uses of seals. I hate the old people in the anime for letting such small kids enter the war and use them as tools, and the chain goes on. What else can you expect from the people who always want to enjoy benefits while staying in the background? The day I died, my life changed for the best. I did not meet a random ROB, nor did I get thrown in another world. I met a different version of myself in a mirror world like the dimension where I died. Hey there, me, wanna reincarnate with memories intact and some powers? Seriously, that's the best he or I could come up with. I just stared at him with a dead-eye expression. He coughed and avoided eye contact. His words just answered several questions, though it's still hard to believe. You are a different version of myself, an alternate, right? How the hell did you get the power to do that? Where do you want to reincarnate me? I looked at him, analyzing any form of deception or trickery, as I don't believe every version of me is a good guy. His lips formed an amused smile and replied, "It's always good to talk with the intelligent version of myself. I got my powers after my death, not as peacefully as yours, but I got what I have today due to it." He smiled with a little warmth at that and continued. "I don't want anything to do with you. I am just offering an opportunity for you to earn good karma. I just had a daughter, so I am happy. And since I don't give freebies to just anyone I meet, I thought, why not give it to myself or a different version? You can even reincarnate in Naruto's world if you like. I know you love it." Listening to him I was shocked and slightly happy for him, but something bugged me, so I asked straightforwardly, "You have kids?" He just gave me the same look I gave him a few moments back and said, "Really, that's what you ask first? Well, considering us, it's very reasonable to ask that question, but I came to love someone and we spend most of the years to be ready for one. I just did not feel repulsive to have a kid with her, and we did, and now I am happy." By the end of it a smile returned to his face. I am happy that I could find happiness and love, even though he is a different me. No point thinking too much, let's get to point and think, what do I want? After some thinking I said, "Well, congratulations man, I am happy that at least you could find someone. For my wishes and the world itself, Naruto's it is, I want to be 10 tails, I will be the chakra left after separation of all the 9 beasts. I want 2 special dojutsu like Rinnegan and a Rein Sharingan on my forehead with powers to access a personal dimension, see some future, ability to see through lies, chakra cloak with Susanoo-like defense in my human form. My body should be of a fox, illusion affinity and counter ability even to the most powerful ones with one of my eyes. I want someone to guide me to get powerful and never stop the power-ups. That's about it, I guess." He just looked at me for a second and said, "You chose 10 tails for its immorality and huge chakras, so you have to work for control and techniques. All the abilities are doable. I will give a system-like interface to guide you on the path, but it will only show you the path as you have to take it yourself, only then you can be truly strong. As you will be remaining chakra of the Juhobi, you have to wait for the chakra to reach its prime state, which can also help you in the meantime to control chakra. As you grow, your tails grow in number till 10, then you won't grow any, but your power will increase according to your efforts. Maybe in this world you can find your own happiness." He spoke the last line in a sincere tone. Well, I am happy that he didn't downplay any of my wishes. I just thanked him and nodded at his logic of how things will be. After that we talked for a few minutes and he sent me on my way and went back. Flashback end. After I gained consciousness for the first time, I received the memory of my time as a divine tree that was born. I came to learn how Kaguya was treated as nothing but a beautiful woman to conquer by the humans. I was an unconscious tree at that time, but I could watch over the whole planet as I was connected to it. I was still strong enough to store and analyze memories in my brain automatically. I got the memory of Kaguya's escape and running away from her so-called husband, who easily believes others' words without hesitation just to have peace. She was already pregnant at that time. She lost all hope when she saw her husband, who was now after her life, and even killed her only friend Ano, who tried to reason with them. She used me and I answered her call and devoured every living being in the area. Look how that turned out for her. Well, she also went and nourished me with her son's woman. She was kind of dull in that romance department, I mean she chose that Dumbo to be her husband. Though she lost her reasoning after consuming the fruit and the last remaining hope, which were her sons, they also went against her. That broke the poor girl down. She summoned me once again, and I went berserk. I started thrashing everything due to my premature awakening and being a mindless beast with no reasoning. She used me to take back the chakras she provided them with my help. She was sealed in the end, I was extracted and stripped of power, and that's how all the tailed beasts and me came to be. Remaining of the chakra and the consciousness of my being with a little bit of trickery from the other me formed in the 10th and last tailed beast stored in Megatama. Now looking at the screen in front, I can feel strange happiness staring at the screen like a kid got a new toy. I mean, I literally held the dream of many in the palm of my hands. Status, techniques, abilities, training. Status. Name, Tsukimi. Tails, 0, in the middle of formation. Age, 2000 plus. Chakra level, 1 TAILS. Combat power, super cage level. Abilities. Tailed Beast Bomb LVL 8. Emotion Sense LVL Max. Helps in sensing the emotions of the person in front of you or the one you focus on. Nature Sense LVL Max. Helps in sensing nature energy and have affinity with it. Requires better chakra control to control the natural energy. Lie Detection LVL Max. Helps in detecting any falsehood in speaker even if they are master of deception. Chakra Control LVL 8. Efficiency in controlling chakra. Nature Efficiency LVL Max. Once you try using natural energy, you will easily sense it. Helps in controlling the natural energy. Nature is your friend. Elemental Affinity All. All the elements are yours to control. Can mix different elements to form something like Bloodline Limit. Elemental Resistance LVL 6. Elements only partially deal damage to you. Easily deflect and resist some of the elemental attacks. Self-sacrifice mode. The last resort. Use the upper limit of your chakra as a medium to burn in return of temporary power. Cloak Max. Available only in human form. Strong as peak Susanoo. Form of yourself in beast form. Future sight max. Ability to see the future. Once every year can be used. Only few hours in future can be seen. The stronger you are, the more you see. Can't be stacked. Future shown can or will be changed according to host's action. Chapter 3, The Talk. Looking at the screen, I wondered if I should have asked for a way to get media for entertainment with the system. Eternity can be boring without any form of entertainment. I wonder why that snake guy couldn't understand the point. The power level I have is due to trying to perfect my control of my power since I gained my memories. I am barely at the super cage level. All the strength I used to have is gone, but I was never able to control it. Those negative emotions affected me, fueled by the resentment of the planet and its people, causing me to lose control of my consciousness. I am trying to make my chakra denser and more purified, with this as my foundation. By the time Naruto is born, I will even surpass every Otsutsuki. Now the good thing is that I have removed every single one of those emotions. Now I feel free of some kind of illusory burden. Let's get some rest and then talk to those kids. Although they are 100 years old, they don't act their age. Next morning. I woke up after a good nap, walking out of the cave near the temple. Funny thing about the temple that Hago Romo told them to protect is that it has nothing worth protecting except the seals that help him maintain the connection to this world. Looking at my reflection in the mirror, which is one of the system's functions, I find it cute. I look like a typical fox with royal golden fur, carrying an air of elegance. However, my eyes release a predatory aura that will never fade, as I need to accept my past and move on. I have goals to achieve, so I asked the system if I can form a small body, preferably in human form. Flashback. Looking at the screen in front of me, I gave a mental command to the system. Since the system doesn't have an AI and only responds in written messages, there's no voice communication. I asked, "Hey system, do you have any techniques to help me transform into a human form?" Once the host reaches the maximum in chakra and natural energy control by the standards of the tailed beasts, you can use your natural energy as a base. You'll use the physical energy of chakra to condense your chakra into a small body of the required shape, while nourishing it with your mental energy. You can also construct your chakra pathway according to your preferences for a better flow of energy. This technique should help you transform into a human form when you reach the necessary levels of chakra control and energy mastery. Good luck with your transformation. A/N, the level of control of tailed beasts' chakra is way above human level. At the maximum level, chakra is like breathing to them, they can regulate and form any shape with it just by mere imagination. The tailed beast bomb is the best example of this. Tsunade is said to be the best at chakra control, but by Baijiu standards, she is merely at level 4, where she has to concentrate to form any shape with chakra. Flashback end. Looking around, I sensed that all of them were already awake. I let out a small roar to call them. In less than 5 minutes, all of them gathered around. I looked at Shikaku, who was fighting Kurama. "You nine-tailed bastard, fight me. I'll show you how much your tails are worth," exclaimed the tanuki with might and arrogance in his words. Kurama looked at him like an idiot and snorted, "Go away, raccoon. If it weren't for Big Brother, you'd be 3 meters deep in sand, where you belong." I opened my eyes, which I had kept closed to avoid attracting the attention of that black Zetsu, as they could sense the 10 tails aura. He can only sense it if he's near me and my eyes are open. He's like a fanatic when it comes to Kaguya. I may be more powerful than him, but he's good at running away. With his schemes, he will just annoy me. I can still see with my eyes closed. Looking at Shikaku, who shuddered at my emotionless gaze, I turned to all of them. I could see that some of them were better than yesterday, while Kurama seemed a little down. I think Shikaku used his own way to cheer him up. I said the things which they had the right to know. As you already know, you all are part of me, and you have some of my abilities. I am still recovering, which may take around 20+ years. Don't worry, I don't need you to return my power, nor will I start a rampage again, as I've discarded all the negative energy. I want you all to understand that, even though we may have different personalities and views, at the end of the day, we are still a family. You don't call me Big Brother for nothing. That's why you should know that I was once sealed in Hago Romo. It was horrible to be able to watch everything he did. I shivered, just thinking about the kind of things I had to see and hear. Seeing such a look for the first time on my calm face, they had a glint of curiosity in their eyes, which I just ignored and continued, I am telling you this to let you know what humans are capable of. Although that kid was an Otsutsuki, he grew up in human society. He gave you an order to protect, which I won't interfere with, as it will be your choice. But be careful when you interact with humans. Grow stronger and do your best to get control of your chakra. I won't always be there to protect you, and don't tell anyone about my eyes, as they look the same as the Rinnegan, and I am not powerful enough to protect myself, let alone you guys. They just nodded at that because we may be immortal, but it's troublesome to die and wait for a few years to revive fully. Closing my eyes, I sighed. Enjoy the world while you look cute due to not having enough time for your bodies to gather chakra, while I need to recover because when you fully mature, you will see the true nature of humans. Looking at Kurama and Shikaku, I continue, don't trouble others in your squabble. You can add Son Goku, as he likes to fight, but don't overdo it. Tails may represent your current power, but that won't always be the case. I turned to Kurama to continue, the better the control you have on your power, the stronger you are. Kaguya wouldn't have lost if she had time to get control of the powers of the chakra fruit. With me by her side, no one would have been able to touch her. But I never had my consciousness, and she lost herself in anguish and sorrow. They could see a look of sadness and worry when I looked up at the moon, which represented both of our names and her current location. I looked at them and said, go and play. Don't disturb me if you don't have an important reason. Matatabi, Koku, I know you don't like fighting, but just practice chakra control from time to time. I want you to be able to protect yourself, not waiting for others to rescue you. They approached to hug me, and I patted them on the head. Even if Matatabi is reserved and acts formally, she acts like a cat around me. I will do it for Big Brother, hee, she said while caressing my fur with her tail. She seemed to like it, and I let her be, looking at Koku, who just nodded at her words to indicate she also understood. Her eyes were filled with warmth. Chapter 4, New Skills. After a few minutes of hugging and talking, they went off to play, as they are still kids. They will mature after experiencing the human greed for power, and soon, all the major clans will come into existence. These guys will mature in a maximum of 100 years, so I need to speed up my training to avoid falling behind. They can be a handful to handle sometimes, but I want to avoid the mistake I made previously of taking all power without refining and controlling it, even though I didn't have any sense of being at that time. When I reach 10 tails, I will be at level 4 of planetary level with proper control. At that time, I will find a Jinchuriki so that I can relax and become stronger inside of it. I can take Kurama's place instead of being sealed in Mito Uzumaki. We can all still communicate through a mental connection due to me. Originally, they could only sense each other's existence, but they are not aware of it yet. They can also show their point of view through the connection. I sat down to start refining my chakra, which replenished as I thought. Maybe I can learn something like the shadow clone technique from the system. It will speed things up. Host can use shadow clones, as you have enough control, but due to your beast nature, host can't use the original technique. I can offer you your type of version of any techniques, host. They don't need hand signs, just enough chakra control. That's even better. Send me information regarding shadow clones, Flying Thunder God, seals, and genjutsu. Done, information sent to host's mind. Notice. Abilities gained. Shadow clones level 1. Flying Thunder God level 1. Genjutsu level 1. Seal level 1. Now I can grind it in a few decades. I will max out all of them while at it. I closed my eyes to go through the info and used 10 clones each for new techniques. Few hours later. I should rest now. I am tired, and I want to roll around. Thinking such things reminded me of how much of a fox I am. I deactivated the clones and went through the info and got a few notifications. I came to the realization that seals are difficult, and the levels indicate that I will have all the foundations of what techniques have to offer at the max level, but how I implement it is up to how creative I can be. Notice. Abilities upgraded. Shadow Clones Jutsu LVL 7. You get information what clones achieved. Your clones can transfer information amongst themselves. Better control over clones. Flying Thunder God level 5. Teleport to the mark. Teleport the marked object to yourself. Exchange position with the marked object. Genjutsu level 4. You can make people see whatever you want them to see. Visually there won't be anything that can see through the illusion except few ocular powers. Seals level 3. You can connect 2 seals. Easily handle one-line seals. Mastery of basic seals. Seals are powerful things, too bad that Kid Azura's lineage had to die. They were ferocious yet peace-loving, just like him. I don't know if it's fate or what, but even the remaining ones never thought of starting the clan again, especially the royal family. That's why I don't like Mito, she just watched both of her families die without doing anything. On the surface, she just said she wants peace, but at the cost of her own family, I don't think so. She is not an Uchiha. Well, not like I care. As I spread my senses, I can see all of them are practicing chakra control. Although they are still not as skilled as me, they are around level 6, which is good as most humans can only reach level 4. Now, let's continue to sleep and refine chakra. After a month, I looked at the screen to see my first tale will soon be completed. Status Techniques Abilities Training. Status. Name, Tsukimi. Tails, 0, in the middle of formation. Age, 2000 plus. Chakra level, 1 tails. Combat power, 1 tails level. Abilities. Tailed Beast Bomb LVL 9. Emotion Sense LVL Max. Helps in sensing the emotions of the person in front of you or the one you focus on. Nature Sense LVL Max. Helps in sensing nature energy and have affinity with it. Requires better chakra control to control the natural energy. Lie Detection LVL Max. Helps in detecting any falsehood in speaker even if they are master of deception. Chakra Control LVL 8. Efficiency in controlling chakra. Nature Efficiency LVL Max. Once you try using natural energy you will easily sense it. Helps in controlling the natural energy. Nature is your friend. Elemental Affinity All. All the elements are yours to control. Can mix different elements to form something like Bloodline Limit. Elemental Resistance LVL 7. Elements deals even less damage to you. Easily defend and resist some of the elemental attacks. Self-sacrifice mode. The last resort. Use the upper limit of your chakra as a medium to burn in return of temporary power. Cloak Max. Available only in human form. Strong as Peak Susanoo. Form of yourself in beast form. Future Sight Max. Ability to see the future. Once every year can be used. Only few hours in future can be seen. The stronger you are the more you see. Can't be stacked. Future shown can or will be changed according to host's action. Shadow Clones Jutsu LVL Max. You get information what clones achieved. Your clones can transfer information amongst themselves. Better control over clones. Flying Thunder God level 8. Teleport to the mark. Teleport the marked object to yourself. Exchange position with the marked object. Genjutsu level 7. You can make people see whatever you want them to see. Visually there won't be anything that can see through the illusion except few ocular powers. Seals level 5. You can connect 2 seals. Easily handle one-line seals. Mastery of basic seals. Mastery of intermediary seal. Chapter 5, Chakra Convergence Seal. It's tough to advance as I level up, I mused, observing the figures gathered around me. Have you all decided that this is what you want? I asked, addressing them. This morning, they had come to me with a request about traveling the world separately. They nodded, awaiting my answer. Come back in 20 years, or when you get bored. I won't go with you. You can do whatever you want, but don't go running around wildly, especially you 4, I said, looking at the troublemakers, Kurama, Son Goku, Shikaku, and Jayaki. They nodded, though I knew it was useless to tell them. With their agreement in mind, I continued refining my chakra and strengthening my powers. As time passed, my first tail was nearing completion, a symbol of my growing strength. Once I gain all my tails, you will be the first to be the victims of my training results. Nothing much, just a little bit of sparring. You are in for a surprise once you come back, he he he. The mentioned 4 suddenly shivered and looked around hastily. Ignoring them, I turned to rest. Take care, all of you. Once you get tired or are in any harm, come back or call others. I have already told you about the telepathy, so you can talk to each other while still far away. Matatabi came jumping at me, Big brother, I will come back fast. I just want to see what changes were made in recent years. Kokuo will go with me as well. The silent girl also spoke, brother, I will be back soon. I smiled at Matatabi and Kokuo, knowing that they were eager to explore the world beyond our sanctuary. Enjoy your journey, but remember to stay safe and use your telepathy to stay in touch. I'll be here waiting for your return. With that, they nodded and turned to leave, their tails swaying with excitement. The other tailed beasts also expressed their farewells and well wishes as Matatabi and Kokuo ventured into the unknown. As I watched them depart, I couldn't help but feel a sense of pride in how far they had come. They were no longer the wild and uncontrollable beings they once were, but rather individuals with their own goals and aspirations. As I entered my dimension, I prepared for my intense 20-year training regimen. Learning advanced seals would be crucial. With them, I could manipulate the time in my dimension as well. It was always my go-to training ground, hidden from the watchful eyes of that Senrigan girl and others. By the time she came looking for me, I would be the strongest being on this planet, at least according to my calculations. That guy needs 1,000 years to recover, he might eventually discover my existence. There is Momoshiki too, he will pose a significant threat. But I would be ready for them. A pitch-black portal appeared before me, and my third eye opened. It revealed a blood-red eye with 3 concentric rings and 3 tomo on 2 of the rings, while the third one remained empty. The eye gleamed with a faint, eerie light, and its intense red hue resembled fresh blood, exuding a sense of power and dread. While on the outside it's like the eye never opened. I entered the portal and it closed behind me. Stepping through the pitch-black portal, I found myself in a vast grassland. I surveyed the area and, with a simple gesture, raised a wooden platform from the ground. Numerous chakra-infused wooden pillars emerged, their bases made of metal, and a massive, thick pillar rose at the center. Creating clones of myself, I assigned each one to a different pillar. These pillars served as the foundation for various seals aimed at enhancing concentration, stabilizing the mind, and promoting healing and recovery. My intense 20-year training had begun. As my clones diligently worked on their respective seals, I observed their progress. When the seals were completed, I initiated a final seal, known as the Chakra Convergence Seal, with myself at the center. This seal allowed my chakra to accumulate and increase in quantity. As the clones dissipated, my chakra reserves expanded while the amount of chakra I had started decreasing at an astonishing speed, but at the same time, the concentration of my chakra increased. This delicate balance allowed me to push my chakra control to its limits. Not many were aware that when Kagaya and I were one entity, we shared a unique connection. Even though we existed separately, she had the ability to tap into my power as if it were her own. However, after our separation and the distribution of my chakra, my strength had significantly diminished. My current training aimed to regain that lost power and reach new heights of strength and control. Now that I've gained consciousness, I can't be merged with her again unless it's through a soul bond, but those are only for my wife or wives. We are separate beings now, without any connection. So, for her to be unsealed, she needs the tailed beasts combined with my chakra in the Ghetto statue, which was my old husk. It's now useless, by the way, and can only be used as a carrier. I do have another way to rescue her, but that's for later. Now, let's continue. Separation and convergence, with each repetition, the density of chakra increases. After a year of relentless training and refining my chakra control, I had made significant progress. The separation and convergence technique I had been using had allowed me to steadily increase the density of my chakra. Opening my eyes, I looked at myself through the screen. I had a whole new tail. And my chakra density reached its limit. It is as large as one tail's chakra while the density is triple the previous density. Update. Combat power, 3 tails. Without ocular powers. 9 tails with ocular power. I was more than satisfied with the results. Now that this is done, let's max out the shadow clones with the Flying Thunder God technique. They will help me move around when I don't feel like moving on my own. Another year went by, during which I first maxed out the shadow clone technique, which gave me a good skill. Then, by spamming shadow clones, I used them to max out the Flying Thunder God technique. The results were astonishing. The Flying Thunder God is more than it seems, and even Tobirama couldn't discover its full potential after creating such a thing. Notice. Ability upgrade. Shadow clones LVL max. IT can be used to create false death clone for duration depending on chakra supplied. Only people with best chakra control and high-level dojutsu like Rein Sharingan can detect IT. Flying Thunder God LVL max. IT can create a mapping network using all the marks placed. You can use this area like traveling through dimension without getting detected. You can travel to different planets with this. Places visited can be visited as long it has your chakra signature, no need for mark to be place. Only for the planet you are on. Chakra control LVL 9. You don't have to worry about your rapid increase in your chakra with this level of near perfect control. You can control chakra in strands thinner than thousandth of hair size with just thinking. And mold it to any shape without having to worry about its stability. Even my chakra control increased incredibly within this year. Now it's just one step away from perfection, and I'll get there in these 20 years of my training. In the third year, I focused on increasing my chakra to the level of 2 tails. I used a gravitational seal and performed several sets of techniques only used by Fox Yokai, which I obtained from the system. They were of the highest quality out there. With a bit of improvement from the system to suit my needs, I had a perfect technique to increase the results of my training by 5 times. I have a new half fully grown tail as I reached a new level of strength. I will continue this for 2 more years. Within the first year my strength reached 3 tails and I have increased a great deal of my chakra. While my second tail is now fully formed. Since due to compression of my chakra the amount needed to form a tail fully keeps on increasing while my body is now more than 100 meters in size. I will need more and more chakra as the number of tails increases, but once I become a 10-tailed fox I will rival Hago Romo with chakra alone. But once I make myself a body and add natural energy I will surpass him. Now 5 years have passed since my training started. I am now officially a 3-tailed beast and my chakra quantity reached 5 tails. But I also came to know that once I reach 10 tails my chakra will also compress once more and I will be left with 10 tails amount of chakra, but the quality of that chakra will be 10 times more. Which doesn't mean that I'll be 10 times stronger than Hago Romo, but I will have more attack power. My attacks will be more lethal and my power will reach LVL 10 planetary level. I will put my plans in motion as I reach that level. For solar system level 1 would need a planet core or chakra fruit or power like Otsutsuki. For me that's not necessary as I am a divine tree itself. I changed my appearance but at the core I am still the divine tree. I only need time, maybe 100 or even 1000 years. Who knows, I am a tailed beast with limits unique the time with Kaguya. But once I succeed then no one on this planet will be a match, even Kaguya. She is at the same level that I will be, but forcefully absorbing and merging with chakra fruit made her lose control. Power without proper control is never good. Chapter 6, Knowledge of Seals. Status Update. Chakra Quantity, 5 tails. Combat Power, 6 tails. 9 tails with ocular powers. Abilities. Tailed Beast Bomb LVL Max. Any shape with enough structural balance, can be used for the bomb. Even a finger-sized bomb can eradicate a mountain on detonation. Wow, I just threw some chakra bombs to pass my time and the level went up by so much that it maxed out. I think it's due to my new control. The bomb now comes to me as easy as breathing. Now I don't want to train in chakra control. I feel bored, so I started rolling my 150-meter body on the floor. Let's train harem-style shadow clones for a month as relaxation. As I created a mountain full of clones turned into naked women and a notification came. Ability Update. Harem-style shadow clones, LVL 9. A skill formed by a bored fox just to kill time and steal someone else's glory. Can be used for different application depending on user's intention. Skill of degenerate people. Oi oi. Don't go and say all those things like it's true. I mean I did steal it to mess with Naruto, but I am not a degenerate. Why is it still a level 9 system? What does it lack to reach level 10? Notice. According to the techniques in database there is only real experience that is required, which host doesn't have, as host hasn't seen naked body inch by inch to have an proper understanding of it. Only the original creator Naruto Uzumaki reached level 10 in this technique after staying with Jiraiya. So Naruto was more of a degenerate than I thought. Well, now back to training. For the next 5 years I went on intense grind in which I took the topic I liked the most, the seals. Seals are divided into several categories. Basic seals. This includes the same and more knowledge that Uzumaki have till advanced levels. Like sealing chakra in things, affecting senses, gravitational seals. There are many seals like sensory seals, chakra blocking seals, 4-element seals, etc. These are all in beginner's level. In intermediate level, it comes to the knowledge of sealing living beings, making soul weapons. The Death Reaper seal was also included in it. It is one of the most forbidden knowledge of Uzumaki. Now I know its variation without any price. I also have a counter for the same skill. Cursed seals are also part of the course. Better than what Pedomaru could even think of. Seals for conscious or mind palace altering. I even got enough knowledge to make better seals of tailed beasts than them. Advanced seals are way above the previous level. They consist of seals to slow time or increase it. It can create teleportation channels amongst two seals with enough chakra provided. Gravitational forces can be altered in larger planes or areas like a whole city. I was able to learn how 5 elements or other elements are mixed to form Kekii Genkai, also known as bloodline limits like wood style, and many more. Just using seals and having enough element affinity, which is no problem for me being a beast with all affinities. I made seals with the knowledge and imprinted on my body, which negates my weakness to wood style, and also my tail's sensitivity is now under control, yes, even the ears. These weren't shown on the system panel as it was not an ability but a seal. Ability update. Seals LVL 6. Advanced level seals achieved. Enter the understanding of complex elements like time, space, fortune. I just scratched the surface of advanced seals as it is a vast topic. After advanced seals there are forbidden seals which divulge information regarding the forbidden knowledge of the universe, like altering fate, increasing luck without any consequences. In the advanced version, fortune requires equal exchange, like for your lucky day everyone around you has a bad day. These types of seals are usually affecting the flow of reality, which one should not touch unless they have a proper grasp or understanding of their nature. They always have a chain effect on things like a time loop. Mess with reality and it messes with you. Hey! I will never use this seal. I made a seal to passively increase the quantity of chakra while maintaining the quality. It is very slow, but I don't have to focus on it because it's automatic and I can focus on other things. It will let me handle the other things on my plate as I leave the chakra to the seals. Creation of seals is only limited by your imagination. It is not just a set of action or pattern, it requires sequence and what outcome you desire from the seals. Depending on your thinking process, you can make the worst seal using the best knowledge, and you can also create the best seal just using the basic knowledge. Chapter 7, Training. In these 5 years, 2 years were spent on refining and solidifying the knowledge of intermediate seals. They will be used as a foundation for advanced seals. It took me 3 years of trial and error just to barely qualify my skill as advanced. I can slow time to 1:2 ratio for now. 1 year outside is 2 inside. Time is a very fragile concept, one cannot temper it without having enough power, only understand it. I went and connected myself to the dimension and used its core as a base to set the array of seal lines and symbols to form a complicated web-like structure. Once the seal was placed, the time seemed to slow down in the dimension, but the person inside without enough understanding of time won't even notice it. With this I can get more time. Let me see what's next. I scrolled through the system screen thinking my elemental resistance is lowest, let's make it go up. What does it need? Let's use elementals to strengthen the body by using it on the surface and underneath. Using such methods may not be best in the long run, but for now it should be fine. As I ran the fire element on the surface of my body and below the surface was the water element, with my control I can use all elements at the same time regularly. I used fire to burn and water to soothe, but the effects were close to zero. I increased the intensity and added lightning in the water to stimulate the body even further. Although our bodies are made of pure chakra, it performs like a shell for us. My body was formed by it. Hago Romo even tried to stop it, but to no avail. When I was reborn in the 10th Megatama, I only absorbed the core power of my being without the negative effects which he helped me out with. Hago Romo wanted to destroy me at that time, but I formed a connection with the rest due to me technically being their parent. So due to not having all my energy as a foundation of my body, its formation was slowed down. I cannot go further than 10 tail power unless I involve myself or something. What I need is to increase the durability of the shell, making it accustomed to the elements in large quantities to hurt it, then heal it, and then keep on repeating. If I was human I would feel a lot of pain, but since the body is just chakra, no nerves for sensing pain or anything. Only thing that can make us feel pain is mental damage and affecting our chakra system. When we are killed, the chakra disperses and gathers to form a new shell. The body itself would be weak and would need time to be at its peak strength. As the elements on my body keep on damaging it, chakra heals the body. The process is very slow as the body needs time to be accustomed to every single element at a certain level. Using this technique again and again for the whole month is not an easy thing. It nearly bored me to death. The intensity keeps on increasing as the time passes away and the whole month goes by. The body was getting sturdier and was able to nullify the damage to some extent, but even after a whole month the level didn't go, which shows just how difficult increasing the level of this skill is. I was getting bored, so I made my clones find an effective method for this and went to do something else. After some time playing with my clones, games like tag, chess, wrestling, all of this in full power without ocular powers, as there would be no point in it otherwise. Using full power to play like that was a good way to get a hang of your power and make myself accustomed to it, unlike those power-driven people who just go and charge to the strongest person they find to test their power. How idiotic a person could be. Do you think that you could never die just because you got something to increase their power faster than others? They just kill them in the end by saying, I am helping the people you will kill in the future. How self-centered can a person be? Well, they are only alive due to some omnipotent being, author, helping them from the shadows. A whole week went by like this. I played chess with my clones using transformation technique, which I got from our one and only supplier. Abilities update. Transformation LVL Max. Can transform in any form or person you can think of. No one can see through your disguise except the one with high-level dojutsu. Can copy tiny details to the level of aura, pores, voice, etc. Now let's sleep. I have been training for 10 years and only slept for a total of a month. I need a month of sleep at least to have a healthy mind, as I have 20 more years. Thinking of this, I went to sleep, not before removing all the clones. In a blink 1.5 months went by and I woke up. Looks like I was more tired than I thought. Let's take it slowly. I have all the time in the world. Not like I care about the world. Even Madara and Hashirama have around 700 years to be born. Uchiha and Senju clans will soon come into existence, as those brats' descendants have scattered. Even Uzumaki will soon come to be. I like Uzumaki's loyal character. They are just like Ashura. I have seen almost all of them care for their family and help each other. I never judge characters on the basis of anime. They never showed the full depths of a person's character unless they wanted to give them screen time, everything for the plot. I can see everything I want to see while hiding in the dimension due to Rein Sharingan. Even with all of that, I won't save the clan. Why would I? I don't have any connection to them. Nor do they have any use for me. If things turn out to be good, they will be saved without my help, otherwise a certain Uzumaki will lose most of their power. Now let's go out and see what they are doing. Chapter 8, Tsundere Fox. As I went out, I could see all of them through my link. They were traveling. Shikaku was playing in the sand. He looked like had a fight recently, which I guess was him being beaten by Kurama. Which was confirmed when he cursed him out loud. Damn that fox, don't let me see you again, you cheated like a bitch you are. Next time I will have my revenge. Yet I definitely don't want any part in this, so I'll just ignore it. Changing the link to someone else, I continued to look at their surroundings. Looks like Matatabi is enjoying herself with Kokuo on her side. How are you girls? Matatabi's POV. I had fun with some human children, they were quite amusing and annoying. I did not like them tugging at my tail. Thankfully they could not even touch it, or I would have to kill them. Kokuo was by my side but didn't do anything, as the kids didn't go near her. Maybe they were scared of her. After all that, we were sitting and enjoying the wind as I heard the voice of my big brother, which always makes me happy. He was asking if we had fun or not. I am very tired, brother. I did many things. Kokuo also played with me. Wait, did you already finish your training, big brother? I don't know why, but I always crave big brother's company and voice. I think Kokuo is the same. She just doesn't show it on her face. Nope, I was just taking a break and missed you guys. So I decided to look at what everyone was doing. So when are you coming back? To his question I just thought and said Kokuo wanted to go to sea. So at least a year after that, I'll be back. I miss my big brother too. Brother always took care of us even when we acted like brats. When I understood he hated it when we act like that, but still put up with our selfish behavior. The warmth he showed us was more than anything we received. We all know that at some point as we grow, humans will come to hate us, as big brother told us about his time with them. I just want to enjoy the time we have left. Come back soon, I will be waiting. I could see Kokuo, who always has a strict expression, was smiling right now. So, big brother also talked to her. I feel him cut off the line. Let's go to the ocean, I said. She replied by standing up and we started our journey once again. Tsukimi's POV. As we said our goodbyes, I turned to look for Isabu. He was under a lake, with eyes closed. I didn't want to disturb him, so I looked for Son Goku. Well, he, being himself, went into the forest where animals live, not just any ferocious animals, he went for the one who uses natural energy. Gaku, what do you think you are doing? In the middle of a fight, which was pretty much one-sided, he shuddered hearing my cold yet calm voice. Seeing an opportunity, the animal suffering under his hands escaped. Brother, what happened? You came out of training so soon. Hehe, I was just playing with them. Beating them like that was playing hui. Once you come back we will play to your heart's content. Ignoring his attempt to divert the topic, I continued. Once you are done with your adventure, come back home. You have more 10 years at max. After that I will come to pick you up myself and our playtime also increases. He was nodding his head rapidly and said I will be back on time and we don't need to play. I am already satisfied. Ignoring him, I cut off the connection and looked for Seiken. Meanwhile Son Goku was panicking. Big brother is mad. I will suffer again, and this time more than that raccoon. I will beg for forgiveness. He will let me go, won't he? I really don't want to suffer the big brother's illusion that gorillas were not hot, they were not even female. Looking at Seiken, who was well spreading slimy liquid in the forest, having fun with animals of the wild, running with them. Seiken, you seem to be enjoying yourself. So when do you plan to come back? He was surprised for a second, then replied in a boastful and high-pitched voice. Big brother, you are back early. I made friends with many beasts. I will be playing more for now, then roam the world. So I will be back just before the time limit. To that I said, sure, be safe and bring Son Goku with you if you see him trying to hide away. I said the last part with a chilling voice. You could see his smile falter as he knew the result of angering, and pity could be seen in his eyes. I will definitely be on the lookout, you can count on me. Okay, see you later, Seiken. I cut off the connection and continued looking around. I could see Komei sitting on a huge tree. Eyes closed and sleeping too from what I can tell. So I looked for Jayaki, who was in the sea eating fishes. Even though we don't need to eat, we can still eat to enjoy ourselves. Jayaki, what happened? You seem somewhat down. To my sudden voice he sighed and said, I was thinking of Kurama, he always tends to fight with all of us over a number of tails. Saying, that more tails equals more strength. He just bullies others. You know why I can defeat all of you is despite being 10 tails I lost them all and had to start anew to gain power. I still defeated Kurama and others due to power being more despite not even having a tail. So when you come back, train as I tell you. Beat him and he will shut up. Remember, even though he says mean things, but he is just too shy to admit he cares for all of you. He is a bona fide tsundere, boy do I hate those troublesome kinds. Jayaki just smiled and said, I know, that's why I don't fight him too much. I will do the training once I come back after around 5 years. Good, see you soon. With that I looked toward Kurama, who was all alone in the middle of nowhere just sleeping. What a tsundere fox you are, I said, to which he roared furiously, and on instinct, I am not realizing it was me, he calmed down a little. Why can't you be honest with yourself for once? Not everyone will tolerate such behavior. They do it because it's you, but that won't last if you keep on doing this. He just ignored me and turned to look at the setting sun. I just teleported to his side and he just froze, seeing me for a second. I am not asking you to start acting all friendly with them. Even though I know you care for them as a sibling. He just winced at that but didn't speak, knowing full well it's true. Don't just antagonize them, they are tolerating you for now but it won't be forever. Family needs effort from both sides, they are giving it and you keep on destroying their efforts. Everyone gets hurt, you know. If you can't respond to their efforts positively, just don't speak. It's better than insulting them. I smacked one of my tails on the back of his head. He groaned as it dawned on him. I have 3 tails on my back. And what is it that I hear about tails? I think you forgot someone can crush you without even a single tail. I spoke a little coldly as he looked away from my eyes instinctively while flinching. Spend the time you guys have peacefully, once bad days come only family will be by your side. Not your pride or ego will help you in that time. Without looking back I went back, leaving the fox in thinking. He may not understand my words now, but soon he will. I won't let him sacrifice his life for others. Chapter 9, Chakra Control. After getting back, I stretched my body and laid down. Entering back in my dimension, I started refining chakra while sleeping. The seals help me all throughout the process. I don't have to keep an eye on it. With my control and seals helping me, I can multitask it while sleeping. After 5 years of sleep, once I felt Matatabi was back with Kokuo, I woke up and went outside. Due to time seal only 2.5 years went by. They came to my location to greet me with a hug. Welcome back. I hugged them back with my tails to surprise them and it was a success. Brother, you have grown 5 tails. I am so happy for you. She hugged my fluffy tails with stars in her eyes. They are even more fluffy than Kurama's. I laughed at the comparison. Oh. You have felt his tails? I asked with a smile, but my eyes were hollow as if devoid of any light. Sensing something wrong with my behavior, Matatabi panicked inside and hurriedly said, when we were just born we used to tug his tails, as he had more. We used to say, you have so many you won't lose any if you give one to us. It helped in brightening my mood a little. I wonder why I behaved like that. Looking at Kokuo, who was looking at me with the same hollow eyes that held obsession. I just smiled at her and gave her my tail. Kokuo just hugged my tails, interlocking with hers to my surprise with eyes closed. They say be careful of the silent ones, so true. A/N, interlocking tails is the highest form of intimacy for foxes. It's true, I didn't make any of that up. Definitely. Matatabi also noticed and jumped on her, yelling, Kokuo, you stealing cat. You are the cat here. Kokuo came with a fast reply. She really said it. I thought. It will be annoying now. Ker, I am a tiger, not a cat, you slop. She growled, only to be cut off by me. That's enough, don't you guys think? I said with a smile, but my eyes were telling a different story. They audibly gulped and backed away. 2 most calm and collected girls acting like that, they sometimes give me headaches. Now, ignoring their adorable puppy eyes, I said, I will give you seals to increase the density of your chakra once your growth is complete. They nodded and asked, why not now? You are also training. Kokuo also nodded at her questions. Well, you are in your growth phase, which when completed will determine your chakra quantity, which will be the permanent upper limit. But that doesn't mean you can't get stronger. If I start your density training now, it will cause complications in the future, for example irregular chakra, imbalanced chakra, poor chakra control. So for now focus on chakra control. It will be easier and more productive in the future. They nodded, indicating that they understood. For your chakra control you need to make chakra leave your body, and for a thin layer on your body. Once done, come back to me for the next step. They just closed their eyes and started training. And after a day, like an abandoned cat with puppy eyes came to me and said, Tsukimi nii-chan, we did it. She was literally looking like a puppy asking for attention, which I gave. Yep, you did well, my little cat. While patting her head with my tail, it feels weird to use a paw to pat. Anyway, it worked, as she was in her own world. Mine, he said I was his. He. Oi. Oi. What's up with those Yandere-like eyes? Ah, they look so attractive. Don't use such deadly weapons, Matatabi. I thought, shaking my head to get rid of such thoughts. Kokuo's POV. Standing beside Matatabi, I was thinking, did she just accept being called a cat? She didn't even hear him fully before going in her own dreams. I froze, feeling a tail caressing my head. It felt so good. Soon I snapped out of it, hearing, you did good too, Kokuo. Ah. He has been like that since we know him. Always taking care of us. I melted in the embrace of the tail. Closing my eyes. Grandpa was always there too, but we couldn't always connect well like Karama with him. Then Big Brother always helped us with everything we needed. He hated when someone acted like a brat. Since we were more mature than the rest in our behavior, he never scolded us. Even then he cared for us equally. He was more of a family to us than anyone was to him. He sometimes tells us of his past, but never everything. He tells us enough so that we can learn of the world's dark side, and we can only imagine how he was treated, as literally being a weapon for power. He called it the divine tree. I nodded at him and asked, what next, brother? Tsukimi's POV. Let's see, make chakra threads between your fingers as thin as possible. Once you are able to create it as thin as a hair, I will tell you next step. I replied after thinking for a while. Snapping out of her daydream, Matatabi turned to Kokuo. Let's go, we will do it as soon as possible and spend time with brother before the rest of the idiots come back. I just stared at her, dragging the poor girl out of the room. Should I train as well? They may need a month doing that exercise. I should try some cool technique to pass the time. I just closed my eyes and made a raise nan after thinking what were the steps for it. It's too easy for my chakra control. I can easily control its size to the level of a meteor. Let's add elements to it. That was also easy to manipulate. I can manipulate every element to near perfect due to my chakra control. I formed all styles of raise nan, then I keep on mixing more elements in a single raise nan, but I need elements that accept each other, like lightning with water, wind with fire, earth with fire to form magma. They were on another level. I can literally feel the power of the technique, although it's nothing to me, but it will still do some damage to me. I need to improve my elemental resistance. I even added yin and yang to erase nan. It formed a black hole-like ball. These elements don't mix but coexist to stabilize one another along with the concept. Once detonated, this could be as lethal if not more than a tailed beast bomb. Once done playing with them, I just dispersed the chakra, which is only possible with my level of control. If not, the technique would lose control. That's why every jutsu formed has to be fired, especially high-level ones. I went to my dimension, formed a huge hot spring enough to reach my chest and went into it to soak myself. This is one of my favorite things about Japan, a private open bath, so relaxing. I remember there is a seal that I recently came to know of here due to my increase in mastery of seals and chakra. It's very hidden, that Hago Romo never trusted me, not that I am surprised. He thinks that I will revive her. Well, kind of true, the girl had suffered enough. I'll knock some sense in her too. The seals will trap me, especially, using my chakra as base and alarms that will alert the old coot if I temper with the moon seal. I destroyed the seal except the sensing part. I will let him know that I will be freeing her. Do what you can, hee. I drifted sleeping there in my dreams. I was being pestered by some kids. Ugh, these demon spawns. I came out of the dream in horror. Ugh, I hate kids. I can't see myself having one. Chapter 10, Back at Home. I checked the time passed after I got out of the dimension. It's been 3 hours outside means 6 hours inside the dimension. Man, living so long without anything to do messes up your concept of time. Now back to training. I guess I need to get a human body soon. Being huge is good and all, but sleeping like a human is another thing. Just imagining having my soft and fluffy tails underneath me, aw man, that would be heaven. I set up seals to inform me if someone with hostility towards us enters the area and forms a surveillance over that person no matter where in the world they are. If they attack, they will be captured for me to torture. I just had this idea, why wait for someone to come? I need precautions, it's better than cure anyway. It can even handle someone at the level of a lower level Otsutsuki. Going back to my dimension, I went back in my dimension to gather my chakra again. 2 months went by and I came out of the dimension to be greeted by the energetic duo. We did it. It was difficult, but once I got the hang of it, it was better than before, said Matatabi. We can make it a little thinner than a hair, Kokuo added. I looked at her in surprise. The thread she was showing was really thinner than her hair. Good for the next step, try to use these threads to weave a net. And keep making it thinner once you reach the limit. Try forming chakra in different shapes, the more detailed the better. This concept is like carving. The more you concentrate and have better control, you can sculpt just by using your chakra. Brother, can't you train here? Stay by our side while we train. They looked really sad to see me go away for such a long time. Sure, I will train here. Just let me know once you are done, I said while thinking it's not like I have any urgency to get stronger. Why not go at a slow pace, while I won't stop training but spend more time with them? Time went by and the formation of my fourth tail went on, which was done by a quarter. 1 more year went by and Isabu also came back. He also joined them in their training and they guided him. I sometimes helped them with their training. I have also taught them raise nan. It was a good training tool to control size and shape. Not good as ours, but still enough to experiment for us, unlike the destructive bomb. I talked with Isabu about how the outside world, it was boring, everyone is fighting for power. Or so he said in a timid manner. I never tried to resolve his timid behavior. He is not a defenseless boy who needs protection from others, he is a tailed beast. I think it's just his innate personality. Everyone has a different personality and their personality sometimes represents their appearance very much. He will be fine after spending time with the family. As time went by, I grew stronger slowly. 1 more year and the last quarter of the tail is about to be formed. It was funny seeing these guys' reactions as my tail grew. In these 2 years Komei also came back. I was lucky to find many delicious things on my way. I found a good place to sleep. I even made friends in the forest. I was so lucky. Was what he said when I asked about his journey. He is quite a peculiar guy. Well, even he was dragged in by the girls to train. He was not so lucky, I guess. They really enjoy being the one to teach others. I could see their eyes filled with pride once one of them made progress. I rolled my eyes as the pride was for themselves. Where's the damned fox? I will rip him apart. I was woken from my sleep by a loud voice. I may be the most calm person here, but my sleep is sacred. I hate when someone disturb my sleep. Even when my maid used to turn off the fan when I was sleeping, it was so revolting to me. I stood up with unusually calm eyes, the rest scattered away. Knowing full well what's to come, and prayed and pitied the raccoon. You seem quite energetic, Shikaku. Quite too much from what I can see. It's not good to be this energetic, you could get a heart attack. Let me calm you a little, I said with a small smile, eyes closed. But that scared the poor one-tailed brat. We tailed beast don't have a heart, was all he could utter before my third eye opened. Now that's a problem we need to fix. You can die without a heart. I pulled him inside my own Tsukuyomi. He was surrounded by 10 buffed but chin-face Karama. He was not given to comprehend the situation, as they took each of his body parts and showed him all the care they have to offer. It all took 1 second and I just went back to sleep, ignoring the broken record like raccoon. Stay away. Stay away. I won't fight that fox again, never, please stop. Both Isabu and Chmei were looking at me with fear, admiration, and curiosity, wondering what I showed him. As I slept, I suddenly felt a happiness I don't know from where. Opened my eyes only to see Matatabi and Kokuo's hollow heart-like eyes looking at me. Now that's a beautiful sight you don't see every day. I imprinted that in my memory with my Sharingan-like eyes and went back to sleep feeling happy that the raccoon was little useful. 1 more year went by and my 4th tail is now fully formed. My chakra has almost reached the amount of 7 tails. As I got accustomed to my chakra. Although I have more chakra, I didn't get too much of power up, as my reserves are growing. It is starting to slow down. I am not really concerned, it will be better as I level up my elemental resistance. In 2 months I looked at the system in content. Status update. Chakra quantity, 6 tails. Combat power, 7 tails. Abilities update. Elemental resistance LVL 7. Reducing basic elemental damage by 60%. Advanced element by 30%. Chapter 11, Rein Sharingan. In the next 2 years Jayaki came back. He immediately started training with them and gave his all to train. Karama came after him and was left stunned at the sight of Shikaku running away from him. He looked at others who told him what happened. He had a look of admiration and horror in his eyes looking at me. Another 3 years went by and in the first 2 years I grew another tail and I also practiced all the Rein Sharingan's abilities that I had for the very first time. Flashback. I was standing in an open space of my dimension. I brought the others inside with me to let them enjoy the time seal here. I was standing far away. My height reached 200 meters, which is very high by tailed beast standard, but maybe due to my different approach to chakra I am like this. I opened my Rein Sharingan and I started interacting with it now and keep on unlocking the powers I have. First I got Infinite Tsukuyomi, I should have done this sooner. This is a high-level genjutsu which is casted over the entire world in the matter of minutes. Abilities acquired. Infinite Tsukuyomi LVL Max. A level 6 illusion technique then can be cast on world, affecting even some of the reality. Obviously I didn't cast the technique. Just interacted with it. Got all the information regarding its activation and uses. The second was all of Sharingan's abilities. Illusion got merged in illusion technique. I got Susanoo as well. It was silver in color, it was as huge as me and it covered my whole body in armor. I looked at myself and I saw a huge fox covered in royal-like golden fur, so soft, the fur moved with the touch of air. Each strand shining in light is covered in Japanese armor of the past era. As I move I have no difficulty in movements. The silver armor looked glamorous on me, increasing my beauty up a notch. I could see Matatabi and Kokuo looking at me from afar with stars in their eyes. The rest also had admiration in their eyes. As I removed the armor both the girls had a hint of loss in their eyes. Ignoring them I found out that I have all the Rinnegan's abilities of 6 paths like Shinra Tensei, Bansho Tenin, Chibaku Tensei, and many more. I even got the Limbo ability. I can feel the seal on the Gedo statue. I can remove it and summon it, but I won't and cut its connection with it. It's time to leave that part of the past behind and move on. Abilities acquired. Rein Sharingan innate ability. Susanoo LVL Max. Infinite Tsukuyomi LVL Max. 6 paths. Deva path. Able to manipulate attractive and repulsive force. Human path. Allow user to augment their body with mechanical parts. Animal path. Deal with souls and can also read memories. Asura path. Summon wide variety of beings in control. Preta path. Absorb all forms of chakra. Naraka path. Can call the king of hell without any side effect. Outer path. Preside over life and death. Personal dimension LVL Max. Now let's sleep. Flashback ends. Now that my 5th tail is formed, I gained 8 tails worth of chakra. My power is now the same as chakra at the level of 8 tails, but with my eyes I can take it to even more than 10 tails, let's say 11 tails. In the last year both Seiken and Son Goku came back, and boy was he shaking when he saw Shikaku's state and knew what's to come. And now he joined him in the corner mumbling, "Human scary. Miltan scary." Chapter 12, Teasing the Girls. Let me give you some seals before I train my chakra. Now that you have maxed out your chakra growth, these will help you in increasing the density of chakra. Since you don't have my level of chakra control, take it very slow, keep your control perfect and then keep on increasing the density. You will need many years to once again reach your maximum capacity, as you needed around 200 years to reach where you are now. They were astonished at the discovery as I touched each one of them with my tail, and seals spread all over their body to finally converge and form a moon on their forehead. That seal also has my chakra in it to protect you if needed. This even includes Mangekyo Sharingan. General POV. As the time went by, 10 years passed, and in a vast dimension filled with different styles of houses could be seen. One was a huge sand dome with a sea of sand near it. On it was a one-tailed raccoon sleeping with eyes closed. One was a huge river filled with cold water and slightly warm at the surface due to the sun's heat. On the bed of the river was a huge turtle with 3 tails lying there free from all the worries. In a jungle full of huge trees, one monkey could be seen hanging beside a slime, and a beetle-like beast of same but huge size could be seen playing together. In a separate lake was an octopus-like creature as huge as the rest was resting in the water. While an orange fox could be seen enjoying a bath in a Japanese-style shrine. It had a small smile on his face which looked a little creepy. In the last area was a huge shrine which was divided in 3 sections. The first section was made up of wood with an open view to a clear garden-like area. The second section had a similar wooden structure, but it led to an open forest-like area. Last but not the least was a huge stone room with a huge moon on the main wall, in front of which was a huge wooden seat that was being used as a bed, as the size of the one sitting on it was so huge that one could not differentiate between sofa or bed. On the bed was a beautiful golden fox with 10 tails shining without any speck of dust on it like the rest of the fur. If it wasn't enough, the eyes of the figure full of wisdom and power looking at a tiger and a horse-like figure in front of it. Tsukimi's POV. Now I have reached the maximum limit for my current self. Once I break through the current limitations, I will get a huge leap in strength. It will be time soon. We will leave tomorrow in the morning. How was you training? I told them about our trip tomorrow. It is very slow, brother, and boring. Unlike you, we have to start from scratch little by little since. Well, it's true, I started converging my chakra from the very first tails. But they already formed theirs, which is why they had started over, and they were in their growth phase in which no external influence should be there. It would be better to let them grow naturally. Don't worry, the seal will take care of everything itself, you just keep your control perfect. They nodded hearing this as I continued. I never told you guys, but I will make myself a new body tomorrow. It can shift between this form or a new form of my choice. I will be going with the human body. As I dropped the news like a bomb, looking at their expression, it was shocking, I believe. A human body? What, why? Matatabi asked with concern. I think she thinks it will risk my life. Don't worry, I have the procedure planned out. It may be painful, but it will work out. I will tell you the details tomorrow once we reach there. As for why I chose a human body, it's convenient to move among humans to try their food, and I can mate like them, I said, trying to lighten their worries. And it worked. One had purple cheeks now and the other had pink ones. They looked so cute that I opened my Reincarnation Sharingan to take a mental picture. They knew about it after they started going to play with humans. They were confused at first, then asked me after coming back, so I clarified it. After that they just never watched them again. Karama first watched them a lot, but after a talk with me he stopped. I think maybe due to his fox characteristics he is like that. He said he was just curious why they were beating each other and even liked it. Others just ignored it or were never interested in it. I want to have a human body. Both looked at each other after saying together with hollow eyes. Once more the eye was opened. Ignoring the battle of eyes, I just asked with teasing eyes, Aira, why do you need a human body, little ones? Won't you need a partner to have a baby? I will help you with all my power. To Matatabi's reply, Kokuo added, why would he need your help when I am here? She looked at her with dead eyes only to meet the same eyes from the other side. One more for the collection. Is today my lucky day? Deciding to keep the act. When did I say I want a baby? They froze at that sentence. But you just said, she tried to speak only to be interrupted, that I want to have good food that humans make, maybe find myself a partner. She looked at me in shock and horror as both realized something. By any chance you don't mean human as a partner, do you, brother? Asked Kokuo. Why can't I have a human partner, my dear Kokuo? I asked again, this time in a less teasing manner, as I wanted their opinions on humans. I won't let those whores near you, she spoke, letting out a huge killing intent only to be blocked by the seals of the room. While the other nodded in agreement, which is rare in cases regarding me. Comment. 5. Comment. Vote. Chapter 13, Family above all. Man, they look hot right now, I thought while keeping a calm appearance outside. Mama, calm down a little and explain to me, why shouldn't I get a human mate? At my words she suppressed her killing intent, but both of them still had their hollow eyes. We have seen many faces of humans, they have lust, greed for power. Many women have multiple relationships just to have more money and power, some do it just to survive while many get addicted to it. I am not talking about them all, but their kind, disgust me. To which Matatabi continues, we all hate those humans who turn against each other once their life is at risk. Even betray their loved ones. I am not questioning your judgment of character, but I am worried if they betray you later, just even if my life is at risk I will annihilate her soul after tormenting her. Kokuo had the same look as Matatabi, as if agreeing with her. Looking at their faces I felt something I never felt in my previous life till now. I can trust them with my life. It feels weird and amazing at the same time. I didn't know they could get this attached to someone like me. I never found a woman worthy enough for me to trust my life to her, that's why I never married. I mean, I could get settled with a rich woman, but life gets complicated as you get rich and have power. I could never get one thought out of my mind. If I one day lost everything, will she stay with me even then? Will our bond remain the same? I realized I was a little obsessive when it comes to people I love in this life. That's the main reason I subconsciously looked for a partner like me. Women were obsessive over many things on earth, but love was not one of them, or maybe I couldn't find a girl like that in my time. After some time I stopped trying because it got annoying. Women on earth have a peculiar mindset when it comes to dating and finding love, which never suits my style. They used a hit and trial method to find a perfect husband. Nothing like love was matter as it came along, which I never got around with. As I grew older, women just wanted my money. I was just above average in the body category. I could feel their characters just by their talks and eyes, how they always tried to roam around money. At some point, once you make money, the people who are real to you will be nearly impossible to find, and including my own preferences it was even worse, so I just accepted it as my whole life of loneliness. It was like a certain dislike arose from my heart towards relationships. I could no longer see myself with anyone, so I enjoyed what life has to offer. As it turned out, it was much more than just getting married, having a kid and settling. I looked at the two in front of me and thought how good it would have been if I had met someone like them on Earth. Maybe we could be on our journey together. I chuckled at the Yandere aura they were leaking. Oh, how twisted personality I have. Still, I love how I turned out to be as a person. I was just joking. I would never even tolerate a woman whom I can deem worthy of myself and my family's trust. I won't risk what I got for any human in the world. They just hugged me, showing that they also feel the same. Sometimes we don't need words to communicate with our natural emotion sensing, and their actions make us understand each other. We have been living together all these years together as they went through the process of maturity. They do hate humans, but that didn't reach the peak yet, as they are not being used as weapons. Not like I would allow them to be controlled and be used like a weapon. As for the thing about your bodies, reach the convergence limit first, then I will see, don't let me wait too long. As I spoke, a little of my loneliness could be seen in my eyes, so I hurriedly covered it with a mask of teasing. Even if I get used to life alone, sometimes I wish I had someone who would be there with me, not just with me but side by side as we face everything. I know that I have them and they won't leave me, but somewhere deep in my heart, if they start their own family and don't have time to be with me, we won't. It seems they reached an understanding and I failed to cover my emotions. What a waste of 2,000 years of life. I guess it's just the years of loneliness affecting my mind. Looking at them, I can bet my life that they will never leave me. Not just them both, but all the 7 others as well. No matter who else comes in our lives, this bond will never be shaken. Is that so? I just closed my eyes and a small smile escaped my lips. Even with my eyes closed, I could see them looking in a trance-like state. They left for their rooms shortly after. I smile very rarely, it seems, but something tells me it will change soon. One thing I didn't mention to them was that if someone tried to betray me or our family, I would have his/her soul tortured for eternity. I may have known their feelings for a long time, maybe even before they themselves noticed it. Still, I would like to keep it as it is among us unless I really love them. Otherwise I would be like those every hole is a goal type bastard. As for having a human being as my wife, we will see what the future holds for me. Even with the future seeing skill that I got, I never used it as I didn't need it till now and the time period is too short. I will use it around the time third Hokage is selected. I looked at the moon for a while with nostalgia and thought with a chuckle as a swift breeze moved my fur. Suffer a little more punishment for being a brainless brat. Comment. 7 Comment. Vote. Chapter 14, MT Mayaboku. Early in the morning. I woke up and walked outside my house to take a bath in the hot spring, where both of the girls join me every day. I can already sense them approaching as I walk into the spring. I turned to look at them as they approached me and sat by my side. A/N, what did you expect? If you really were expecting something you are weird, not judging anyone though. Just those who didn't know about themselves, now know their hidden secrets. After a long relaxing batch we dried ourselves with chakra and went outside to meet others. Letting them know to gather in the main hall outside with our mental connection. Outside the dimension all of them are ready. All of you want to go? If anyone wants you can stay here. The one who replied was Jayaki. We just want to see your new body and also Karama said he wants to mess with the toads. Era. You want to mess with them? My eyes showed a gleam of playfulness and cunning glint, everyone shuddered. You can as long as you don't harm them or I would have to stop you. Well I would be busy in the ritual, won't be able to move but you still won't mess with them now would you? By now everyone knows that, I want him to annoy those toads. Karama even had the same look as mine. The rest just shook their heads at our behavior. Now I touched all of them with my tails leaving a single one. I used Flying Thunder God technique. In the next moment we were in a different land. The air itself was many times pure. I could practically feel natural energy roaming around me. The energy itself used to run away from me as I harmed the environment before in divine tree form, but after being able to remove those negative consequences of natural energy my affinity with it came into play and I was able to connect with it but can't store it as us tailed beasts can't do that. The sky was a little orange. There was a vast field everywhere, a long river of oil. Several mountains of shell-like shape. Rivers of water flowing out of some of them. I could feel a presence rushing to our location. Well if it isn't Gamamaru the great toad sage. Now how should I greet him? Why not pull a Naruto on him hehe. We didn't wait long enough as a small toad 70 meters high was standing in front of us. Well, he is huge for humans. Yo! Gamamura, I missed you so much. Did you miss me? I looked at him blinking my eyes innocently. Everyone was looking at me in shock, even Karama. Thinking about what happened to me but once they saw Gamamura almost fall jumping toward us, they knew what I was playing at. I had a hard time not to laugh as my lips twitched a little looking at the great sage looking at us, especially me with an incredulous gaze and said what are you doing here? You were supposed to be sealed and what are you doing with them? While thinking Hago Romo seems to have gone soft over the years. I thought he would have taken care of you, curse him. He kept on shouting the question. Mumbling about this was not in the prophecy to himself. So he already had the prophecy of Naruto. Wonder how long ago he had it. I remember something about this as he used to talk to Hago Romo. I was not conscious enough to care. Why do you think I came here? I asked, this time in a teasing tone. He just looked at me then my tails and clicked his tongue. You seem to have changed. He asked while carefully analyzing me. Well having intelligence can do wonders, can even make a toad in a sage, don't you think? I asked in a calm manner. Karama was snickering in the back with Shikako without holding back. Rest had a small smile as well. The frog's eyebrow twitched but he managed to calm himself. What do you want to do here? You don't seem to want revenge. Oh. Why do you think I want revenge? Because you gave my location to Hago Romo and Hamura or because you told them how to capture Kaguya? I looked at him with calm eyes as the surroundings turned silent and a cold atmosphere started to spread with me as a center. Everyone around me got tense seeing the atmosphere and were ready for anything to go wrong. Chapter 15, Precautions. Looking at the silent toad, I snickered in my mind and continued now, don't think too much, I just brought them here as they wanted to look around. Karama wanted to get along with the tadpoles I mean the toad living here. Meanwhile I need natural energy. For the first sentence, he just rolled his eyes while Karama snickered again and at the end of my sentence he roared you want to destroy our mountain as the rest of them also took battle positions. You think too much. Now why would I anger natural energy again? I just want to use some of the natural energy without harming anything. You don't have to worry. I won't risk going berserk again for anything. He calmed down a little hearing this. You can stay here as long as you don't harm anyone or anything here. I will assign some toads to help you with anything you need, just tell them. He said after calming down a little. The other reason I brought others here was so I can have some protection during the process. Give me a lot of land. I want to have enough space so it doesn't harm others. I don't need the toads, but if we need anything we will tell you. I don't know how long it will take for me to get my work done anyway. He nodded and let 2 small toads guide us. I think they are the Ma and Pa. Well, they are quite young. As I reached the land I nodded, letting them know that the place was fine. As they went away I turned to them. I will place some seals so others cannot see what I am doing or interfere, but I would still need your help to guard me during the process. Those who want to play go around and look to come back when I call you. They nodded and went to look around. Now that I am alone I used sensing seals around me, alerting seals. As I set up the precautionary seals I think what would be the best choice for it. I can think of some seals, and since I would not be able to move while the process starts I need something to keep the seals running. Now for the next part, first goes shrouding seals. It will keep away prying eyes unless I give them the authority or I remove the seals. They won't know what's happening. I don't want anyone to know about my body other than my family. Aura seal. It won't let any of my aura leak, unless it reaches solar system level, which is impossible. I will definitely need this seal, as I know for a fact it's always good to have a backup. If by chance my aura leaks a little, no one will know about it, not even the toads. Anti-seal area. In this area only I am able to place the seals. I don't trust these frogs enough to not try to seal me again. Shield area. In this area around a km no one other than allowed people would enter, and it also forms a shield when activated under attack. Soul protection seal. It will protect my soul even if something goes wrong with the process. Body formation seals. The seal responsible for forming a temporary body if I lose this shell as everything goes wrong. Now that all the precautions are done. It took me several hours to deploy all of these seals. Everyone is also back. I approached them and used my tails to play seals on them, which allows them to access the seals and let them know of my situation. They felt touched at my display of trust in them, as they had warm eyes and 2 pairs of heart-like eyes, which I ignored and said I don't know how long the procedure will last, but I have already made precautions to every possible outcome. You have control over the seals, don't let anyone near unless I finish. Even if the process fails, I will survive using the seals I have placed, so you don't have to worry about anything. During this period get used to the natural energy you have in yourself. I was made of natural energy, my previous body, but while separation natural energy has been distributed amongst you. Get used to it. Originally I was a being of natural energy, not chakra, that didn't limit my growth, but now I have to use chakra due to this body. Now it's time for an upgrade. My eyes were resolute and firm as I performed a new set of seals as the rest of them moved far away. Soul nourishing seal. This seal will nourish my soul during the process. Soul separation seals, separates my body and soul. Body creation seals with natural energy as prime energy, and all the chakra accumulated will nourish the body, forming desired connection and transformation results to several new organs that I will have. Silencing seal. No doubt the process would be painful. I don't want them to hear my voice during it, and it won't be a physical pain. Chakra containment seal, to contain the chakra within an area. Natural energy gathering seal, as the name suggests it will gather the near natural energy in the middle of the seal. Merging seal, once all of the forming process is done the body and soul will be merged as one. Multi-style, sequence seal, activates the seals in a sequence in an order it is programmed. Now let's start, shall we? I looked at all of the one last time as I closed my eyes and said in a low voice. Let's do this. BC number ES, sequence start. Chapter 16, process starts. I closed my eyes, waiting as my body detonated and a huge amount of chakra started spreading around, but the chakra containment seal activated, gathered and held it in an area. The soul extracting seal activated with the soul nourishing seal, which kept my soul in place. I didn't even have time to scream as I fainted and my soul went into hibernation. Not knowing was it due to too much pain or separation of my soul and body. Ah, I forgot about the pain of separation of soul, was the only thought I had as everything blacked out. General POV. 9 huge beasts gathered around a huge dome of black clouds. Precisely the seal keeping the soul of their big brother. 9 figures could be seen tensed as they know this will happen, seeing it hurt them more than they imagined. Even more than the time when their grandpa left them. Two of them had red eyes as they saw what happened while clenching the ground so hard that it cracked, preventing themselves from dashing forward in the seals on instinct. Two looked at each other, nodding their heads as they looked at rest. We will surround him and form a temporary area for training and protection, keeping all the seals activated, Matatabi exclaimed. I will blow some steam with the toads, said Kurama as he went toward the village. The rest surrounded the dome in the octagon to form a temporary base and started practicing their control on natural energy which their brother always insisted. As the nine-tailed fox went toward the village, two small frogs looked at him and said, Do you need something? To only get a snort from the fox as he said, I am looking for a training partner. I haven't had a good fight in a while. So take me to your strongest frog. They looked at each other and led him towards the great sage. In a dark room where the only source of light were some torches. In the middle of the room was a staircase leading to a huge throne which looked like a stone seat. On the throne the great sage was sitting and discussing something with his advisors. He looked like an average middle-aged toad of Mt. Mayaboku, but his eyes held untold wisdom and knowledge surpassing his age. He looked to the side and asked a dark-skinned toad, Did your team see what they were doing? No, great sage, we were unable to see or sense in that specific area, as if something was preventing us. We can't approach the area while trying not to make our presence known to them, as they are natural sensors. As they were talking, a huge figure of fox entered the area with two small frogs. His figure startled the toads in the room a little, but soon they calmed down. What brings you here? Is there anything you need? He looked at the two, then at the fox. He had a certain idea but kept that to himself. He wasn't an old toad for nothing. I want to spar with your people, asked Kurama in a haughty tone, as outside his family his arrogance reoccurs, while inside the family he stays normal because of his big brother who taught him a lesson. Hearing this reply, the great sage groaned in the head while appearing calm outside. Fukasaku and Shima will fight you if that's all right with you. Kurama turned to look at them and nodded after a while and decided to hold back, as fighting was never his purpose was to annoy the toads and cause them trouble. As they were getting ready for a fight in a faraway place in a dark cave, a black figure looked at the army of several white figures as he thought, the descendants of Indra are spreading and soon will form a clan. I hope they can have the ocular abilities like him. It would help my plan to revive my mother so much. He looked at the several bodies in front of him and connected them to himself. Spread out in all of the lands and find information about Sharingan's users and send them to me as soon as you get it. The rest nodded and submerged in the ground. I will revive you as soon as possible, mother. Wait for me, he thought with a look of determination, and also went in a different direction. In a certain temple a monk was deep in meditation as he was mumbling his mantras. In the depth of the monk's consciousness there was a small soul that looked on the verge of destruction. If you look closely you can see that the soul was gaining a very subtle glow, but improvement nonetheless. I need time to get back in strength, then this world shall know pain. I will eradicate the world with the 10 tails I have. I will need new subordinates, thought the soul as it was influencing the soul of the monk. The soul of this monk is very strong. I need time to get him under control, then I will devour him and I will mark a comma, but this vessel itself is very weak. I need to find a vessel as well. With those thoughts the soul went back to hibernation and started to recuperate for future comeback. While everything was happening and people behind the scenes were scheming, Tsukimi was still sound asleep, but you can see as the time passed his soul pulsating and gaining strength as time went on. Chapter 17, Karam's Fight. You can add one more if you want, but it's all right, said Kurama, and both the said toads in front also bowed to the great sage and guided him to an open area where they could fight. As they went to the training area, Kurama scanned the area and planned some pranks in his mind. He got permission from his brother to mess around and he won't let it go like that. He will make full use of this opportunity, he thought as creepy laughter escaped his mouth and many toads shivered in panic. In an open area two figures face a huge fox who appeared calm, thinking, are they going to be, well it's fine, I need to teach them anyway, as they angered big brother. He looked around and made plans to damage the area with a Baiju Yodama, and since he started training his strength should be out of expectations of the great sage. Don't cause any fatal harm, only spar a little, said the great sage, who also wanted to watch the strength of the fox by himself. He had a bad feeling since he saw the 10 tails in the form of a golden fox. He knew that the dreams of frogs always come true, as the method may change and the end result will remain the same. Begin. As the voice fell, Kurama shot at the duo using a speed far superior than any could see, but they could sense him due to their natural energy. As a fist was approaching the duo, it was dodged as the duo jumped away in different directions. A large chunk of the area was destroyed as dust flew in the air. The duo know that they can't face a tailed beast head-on as they have knowledge about the world. They started thinking of a counter and started preparing for an attack while dodging the attacks of the fox. Karama used his tails to sweep the area as both jumped up and started maintaining distance while gathering natural energy to form a genjutsu to end the fight, but they had another thing waiting for them. He knows that the toads were planning something. He has some battle experience as he sparred or was mostly beaten by his brother in his dimension. He went on guard for any attack he can receive from the duo but never took them seriously. Soon the attack of the toads was ready and they started creating distance and stood still. As they matched their voices at the same pitch to cast a genjutsu. The voice was heard by the fox as he fell in the illusion and his movement stopped for not even a second as something happened that even shocked the great sage. A tailed beast is made of chakras so it doesn't have resistance to genjutsu of high level. Karama, who was supposed to stop for a few minutes, broke out of the genjutsu almost instantly. Karama dashed and hit his opponents with fist and others with a tail as they flew. He fired a tailed beast bomb in their directions as it missed them and hit the surroundings and caused the area to be destroyed. Ever since the time with the Sage of Six Paths he and everyone knew of the lands of the Sage region. He always hated their personality and never got along with them and was happy to teach them a lesson as he fell in illusion. The mark of the moon on his forehead activated and the illusion broke. He knew of the perks of mark except training is to give resistance against illusions and some other he didn't know of. As he watched his sparring partner falling in the distance he turned to the great sage of Toad and nodded at him and went back. Coming out of his stupor he sent a toad to escort him out. He knew that both Fukasaku and Shima are smart and knew that genjutsu are tailed beasts' weaknesses and that's why they bought time to use genjutsu to finish the fight soon. Even if it's not as effective as Sharingan's genjutsu it should have made the fox freeze for a few seconds enough for them to attack him with their best technique. This revelation shocked the great sage as he thought things were getting out of his hands. He never took action even during the arrival of Otsutsuki but now he was thinking if he should intervene but he didn't know about their whole strength. He also knew the tailed beast will play a great role for the prophecy to take place. How was he able to break the illusion, thought the sage and suddenly it came to him that mark of moon, how did I not notice it before? It was a seal. I only saw it after it glowed for a second and went into a dormant state. Such high attainment in seals. Even better than Hago Romo. Now, I understand why those toads couldn't sense anything. I have to find a way to counter him if he ever again goes out of control and destroys or kills humans. Unknown to him the seal also had a function to not show itself to others until activated. Increase the surveillance of the area around them as soon as you get any information, inform me. After informing the toads responsible for gathering information he went back to his room to think of plans for the future. Chapter 18, Waking Up. As the great sage was planning a way to counter the 10-tailed fox, Karama reached back, the others soon gathered around him to ask for the information about what transpired. They were disappointing. They used an illusion to try to trap me but my brother's seal took care of it. He told the rest about the fight. They had a thoughtful expression while they agreed with his actions. They were also thinking about their further actions. They have been training and improving chakra control while increasing the density of their chakra. Especially Matatabi and Kokuo who want their body to be able to transform in human form. After the talk with Tsukimi they came to a uniform decision to prioritize his happiness as the face of loneliness he showed that day hurt them to the core. They have never seen him like that. He was always a cheery and loving brother to them but after that day they knew he held deep emotions behind his regular face. Even though they accept each other in the harem but that is due to them being a family if it was someone else they would have killed the other party already. By the way how is he? Karama asked in a worry-filled voice that surprised the rest. To his question Matatabi replied as everyone could sense the worry in her voice but they were also the same he is in soul form which looks like a blob without any shape as it has yet to integrate with his new body and merge with it. The body is forming with the seals but the process is very slow. It's like the seals are weaving his body to perfection with very care not letting any impurities get in. It will take at least 100 years to complete. To them 100 years may not be long but with the absence of the main member of the family they find it long, especially the two girls who practically cling to him. Being away from him and not hearing his voice even for an hour seemed like a punishment to both of them. If they weren't able to sense his safety through the seals, they would have lost their reasoning and went on a rampage to destroy everything. Then after talking for a few minutes everyone went to practice. They vowed to grow stronger to help their brother with any task he needs their help for. Days after days, months after months, year after year went by and now it's been 50 years since the process of body formation started. In a field there were 9 huge figures gathered as they were talking to a 100-meter large frog. How long will he stay there as the natural energy of the sage land has been starting to decrease little by little? Asked the toad as he wanted to know what happened to the 10-tailed beast. This much depletion can be even replenished without much trouble. He has been keeping an eye on them but couldn't find any information, and the toads couldn't even see the oldest tailed beast, so he came to gather information himself. The 9 of them also knew that he was trying to probe what the fox was doing in there. They never anticipated the process to be so lengthy. Otherwise they would have performed the performance in his dimension itself as though the dimension had lower natural energy, but they would be in their territory. They could not afford to interrupt the process, and they couldn't let him know what was happening with their big brother. As one of them was about to reply, a voice sounded in the area, shocking all of the present. I am alive, if that's what you are asking. I am just testing something and I am busy with it, would need another 150 years, so I will stay here for the time. You don't need to worry about the natural energy as it will be replenished before you know it. The toad frowned and thought, what is of such importance, as he didn't even meet the rest of them. He was certain that he could have gotten some info if it weren't for the owner of the voice to intervene him. He knew he couldn't get any information from them as of right now, so he needed to plan further steps, and after what happened to him during this time he started being more careful. Well, as long as you are all right, I will take my leave, said the toad. As he was about to leave he stopped, hearing the voice speak again. Well, I won't be unreasonable for your hospitality. I will help one of your summers in the future when in need, but I need to deem him worthy of it. What do you think? The voice had a hint of playfulness in it, almost untraceable. Chapter 19, Change of Plans. Tsukimi's POV. Well, I can help Naruto in the future, or someone worthy. Who knows, after I am done with my plan, would he even come to existence? Knowing that guy, he will pull something off. I can't predict the future, not that far I mean. So what's the point of thinking now? I will only do what I can for now. I just gained my consciousness and see the toads harassing my family. He should count himself lucky I didn't kill him. He seems to have gained some maturity from the calmness around him and the way he approached me during our conversation. My soul has grown stronger, but my body still needs time. My soul growth has been stagnant for some time due to the complications of separation. Now my soul is at its peak and is still growing. I am going to need something to increase my soul power in the future if I want to reach further in strength. Looking at the glint in the toad's eyes, I think he liked the proposal. It is very much appreciated. Well, I will go back to work, the toad said and went away, and then 9 150-meter-high figures rushed inside the probing seals. Brother, you are awake. What happened? You were unconscious for 50 years. Even our connection got cut off permanently, asked Matatabi as all of them approached me. She looked truly sad for losing the connection. It symbolizes the family and keeps us connected. Well, it seems, separating the soul from the body forcefully has consequences. Fortunately, I had some contingency plans prepared. I am all fine now. I would need time, like around 150 years. I would need you guys to provide some of your chakra, so that I can form the connection again. Well, if all of you can keep on feeding me chakra, that would even be more helpful. I also found out I can make myself stronger if they can give me some of their chakra and natural energy during the process. They looked at each other and nodded, then looked at me for further instructions. I am truly grateful for such a family. What's with the serious face? You will get the energy supplied even before a day. I also set this function to replenish energy in the seals on you guys. I wanted them to find the function of the seal themselves. Looking at their serious and resolute expression, I changed my mind a little. During this 150 years the war of Senju and Uchiha will also start. I looked at them and said, during this time just send half a tael worth of chakra every few years, so that by the time it's done, each one of you would have supplied 4 taels worth of chakra. While one of you keep an eye on humans using toads, you can go and survey what is happening. I turned to see my body forming inside a cocoon which was as large as 400 meters. As the gases like energy were supplied to it, the system also said that the other me also gifted something for gaining my human body. It was a pitch black sword which linked to my soul during the process. It also said I should only access it once I get my new body for a surprise. I seem to hear some faint voice coming from the depth of my soul, but it keeps on dispersing before reaching me. They nodded and I continued, once this is completed we will roam the human world. I will accompany you to roam as well. They seemed happy at the revelation, while sometimes they act like a neat, but they like to travel to their favorite places. We talked for hours. They missed me and looked like I was worried about them. They talked about what they did in the time I was not here. Karama told me how he messed with the toads, sometimes destroying some of their mountains or something in disguise of misfire during the fights he occasionally had. As the time passed, 150 years went by. I can see how much they longed to see me again from the enthusiasm they showed during our time together. Today is the day. I will finally be able to move after so long. During this time I also realized my feelings toward Matatabi and Kokuo, as they were literally ideal partners one would want to have. Not like anyone other than me can even think about them now. They are passionate, love me like an obsession, trustworthy and loyal. Did I tell you about their eyes when they look at me? Ah, that makes me fall for them over and over. I won't ever let them leave me, even if they want to. As I was thinking, a dark aura started to surround me. A/N, ahem asterisk. Whoa, whoa. I almost went to the dark side. I thought, shaking my head. Who coughed BTW? Chapter 20, finally. Well, as I realized my feelings, I talked with them about it and they wanted to jump on me in delight. I am not the one to wait, as I have already been looking for my love for more than 2000 years. But I have seen so much of human behavior and their way of thinking I came to hate them, but still I never treated them all just based on others' behavior. That's why I even joked about having a human wife with them. I also told them that if they want to be with me they need to keep on getting strong with me. My wives won't be some showpiece for me to protect, we will have each other's back, that's what families do. That would also be true if I come to love someone in the future, which I find hard to believe, as they will run away if they know my real identity is scared shitless. That's why I look for loyalty over looks. What good looks can do to me. I have seen many beautiful women in my previous life. I can even accept a woman without any particular specialty if she is the woman I come to love. It's not like with my power it is difficult to improve their looks. So why bother with superficial things? They are worth nothing if they don't love you and they just want something from you. Because you have to spend the rest of your life on something fake. And about strength and potential, with my knowledge and system I can turn even a civilian to my level, although it will take time and resources. For love I can even spend a world as a prize for what are some few resources. Now that I look around I see that all of them are starting to gather. They have all condensed their chakra to the limit and now they have better control over natural energy, which is almost perfect just like their chakra. What's the status of the outside world? I asked them as I gave them the task to gather information. The world is in turmoil as humans have been fighting for land and power. They have grown with their control over chakra. They tried to kill us again this time but got killed instead. As I listened to them I clench my fist to keep the killing intent from interrupting the process, but here's I can add they killed them. I relaxed a little. As soon as the body comes out of the shell I will merge with it. Protect me during that time. I will be vulnerable during the process. They nodded with resolute faces. I turned to face the cocoon and as the time passed cracks of nail size started appearing on the surface of the cocoon as it spread all over the cocoon as days went by. It's about time. I turned to look at all of them and then the two first loves of my life a little longer. Then as the cocoon started to break, blinding light came out of it and pieces started to merge with the body, and after some time the light dimmed. I was pulled inside the body by the seals before I could look at it, and once again light covered the body and soul. The concealment seals were activated so the others also couldn't see the body, as they could only see some silver and golden flashes, which is barely visible. After a month went by I got control over my body and tried to take a step. I almost tripped. The power boost I got is too strong and power control is shit. I am not talking about chakra, as it is also slightly worse, but even moving is out of control. I need to fix this soon. I won't go out like this and it will take too much time to get this in control. I will enter the dimension. Let's see the system. Host, Tsukimi. Age, 2500 plus. Current level, planetary level 10. Total combat power, solar system level 1. Abilities. Tailed Beast Bomb LVL Max. Emotion Sense LVL Max. Nature Sense LVL Max. Lie Detection LVL Max. Chakra Control LVL 9, currently level 7. Host needs to get used to the body for better control. Nature Efficiency LVL Max. Elemental Affinity All. Elemental Resistance LVL 7. Self-Sacrifice Mode, XX. Cloak Max. Future Sight Max. Harem Style Shadow Clones, LVL 9. Seal LVL 6. Transformation Technique LVL Max. Shadow Clones LVL Max. Flying Thunder God LVL Max. Rein Sharingan Innate Ability. Susanoo LVL Max. Infinite Tsukuyomi LVL Max. 6 Paths. Deva path. Able to manipulate attractive and repulsive force. Human path. Allow user to augment their body with mechanical parts. Animal path. Deal with souls and can also read memories. Asura path. Summon a wide variety of beings in control. Preta path. Absorb all forms of chakra. Naraka path. Can call the king of hell without any side effect. Outer path. Preside over life and death. Personal dimension LVL max. Chapter 21, The Body and New Abilities. I have come a long way since the day I gained consciousness. I have a huge family and even 2 lovely lovers. I have the power to protect them. I should not let them wait any longer. Everyone, the process was smooth, but I need to gain control over the body, which may take months if not more than a year. With enough control I can't even move an inch without causing some destruction, as much as I would like to cause trouble for these toads that would be over the top. Which is why I will go back to my dimension and come back in a year at most. I need to hug my little siblings as well. So to do that without killing you all, I will have to go. I can see all of them shuddered a little while Karama also snorted. Who wants to hug you? Aira, did you say something, little fox? I turned to him as if feeling my gaze. He flinched. Nothing, just go away and come back soon, Baka. Looks like he needs some punishment. Should I paint his fur bright orange? Feeling as if having a bad premonition, the fox had a shiver down his spine. I turned to look in 2 pairs of worry-filled longing eyes and said, just wait a little more and I will be back soon. They nodded and said at the same time, come back soon. I entered my dimension and immediately started grinding using a gravity seal of the level times 50 and practicing as the time went by. I was in a hurry to meet them as I even forgot how my current body looks or even what my human form is like. I never want to change my looks just to look more handsome, so I choose what's the best my soul could describe my human body looks like. As time went by I noticed that I could improve the time seal which I used before and the ratio increased to 1:10 to 1:40. The power boost I got is too much. Now I can meet them soon. As I started the procedure of trying to control every fiber of my body. Time went on and 20 years have passed. Now I am fighting 2 of my clones at full power without any seals. I was in my fox form, so there was only kicking and using tails involved in the battle. I can now look a little further in the future and choose what type of future I want to see, like my own future, future of someone else, or the world's future. And the time passed as I completed my training in this form and washed myself to remove the dirt on my body. As I looked down in the river for the first time I saw my reflection. I was 350 meters tall, even larger than my previous size. I am humongous, but I can control the size of my body. I looked more or less the same as before, but features have become more refined and beautiful. My fur changed in color. It looked half silver with golden ends. I have a mark of sun and moon between my forehead which I can alter to my liking. The Rein Sharingan on my head is now fully merged in my body. I can bring it out whenever I want to use it. In its place I chose the mark of the silver moon. I liked it, so I added some seals for myself in it. I can also use both symbols like Hago Romo, but I don't have to show them always as I have better control. Now it looked even better, shining and highlighting my hair a bit. Biggest change is that I have reproductive organs that I can either hide or let them out in the open. No tailed beasts can reproduce as they don't have the capability to do so. I felt the body is fully under my control. Now I need to just test the human form and test it. It may take less time in my human form. As I commanded, my body started to change. Each limb started reducing in size while changing shape in a matter of seconds when I was in my human body. I need to work on something so that it would take less time. I looked at myself through the mirror and what I saw left me shocked. A 6 feet 5 inch tall body, I had long silver hair with golden ends, same can be said for all my body hairs. I had sharp fox eyes with a ring surrounding it and 2 tomo in each ring full of wisdom and power. I had a long nose with cherry-like red lips. My features were like my previous life, but they were very refined and detailed. My skin was more pure without any speck of impurities, aka the jade skin. I could be regarded as the most handsome person I have seen, male or female, in both my lives. In my previous life I had an above-average face and I never put importance on it. That's why I used the seals to form a body which shows the best of what my soul represents. I had well-defined muscles on my body filled with power to shake the mountains. I was covered in white clothing and had 10 megatama on my collar. On the back of my cloak was again 10 megatama, but in circles. It represents our bond and family. The chakra they shared worked wonders. They never asked a question or issues, they just did it like it was a natural thing for them to do. Guess what family is like? Warmness filled my eyes as it got a little teary. I had 10 truth-seeking balls revolving behind my back as I commanded them. They formed a chain-like bracelet around my hand. I can change the balls in any shape I desire. They will be my main weapon in the future. They can grow stronger with me as they are made of natural energy. My current full power is enough to destroy a planet with my attacks. My Sage mode is permanent as I can keep natural energy in my body. The energy itself was happy staying inside of me and I never tried forcing it, only showed my will to it and it came running to me. I have now enough assurance to enter the world. I just need to get accustomed to fighting in the body, but first let's start with walking Sai. In the next 10 years I did everything like the Taijutsu training form system. It had 7 styles, which is also its name, 7 style Dawn Break. It is a flexible fighting style suitable for my level of strength. It uses natural energy as a coating to deliver heavily packed punches and legs. It's better than any Taijutsu on this planet. Ability Update 7 Style Dawn Break LVL 7. A special fighting style specially modified for a certain fox's use. IT has 7 types of attacking and deflection styles. IT uses Yang energy and natural energy as a medium in its moves. Natural Energy Control LVL 7. Due to your affinity with nature, IT listens to you and helps you. You can use natural energy in different shapes and size while mixing other elements. Chapter 22, Reunion. Now let's go back. I missed them. I transform into my previous body using transformation technique. Don't want anyone to find out that I have a new body. As soon as I teleport back, I used seals to cover a larger area to conceal any traces, and then I broke the previous seals without leaving any traces. As I appeared in the view, 9 huge beasts tackled me and I just surrendered to my fate. Oh, how much I missed you all. They all just stayed like that. A little sobbing was heard from Shikaku and the girls. Well, that was unexpected. My eyes softened even more and I used my tails to caress them as they seemed to enjoy it. Brother, how is your body? Why does it look the same? As Jayaki asked the question, Rest looked me with questioning eyes. This isn't the place to show it, we need to go back first. They nodded. Let's go meet the so-called sage. After we are back home we will talk for a long time. We went out of the seals and I removed all the possible traces left there. As I entered the palace of the great sage, I could see that he was looking at me as if searching for any changes but could not find anything odd. He aged so much in these years. He went from an adult middle-aged to an old one. You seem old, what happened? Age caught up to you? He just chuckled at my comment. I can see the 2 small frogs at his side. There were many new adult frogs. Their eyes filled with vigilance, they seem to have heard of us. We are not immortals like you, time affects everyone. It also affected me. Did you finish your work? He asked after replying to my question. Yeah, it went well. It was terrible to wait so long, even when 100s of years are nothing, they can be boring. To which he had an amusing smile. I can think what he is thinking at the moment. Can I ask what you did with that much natural energy? It is still taking some time to replenish. Well, looks like he is being straightforward with his thoughts. Well, I just used it to replenish my reserves a little. I only had chakra before, I just gave him a hint. His eyes widened a little at my answer. When I came before, I let him sense my power a little, which was more than at my peak. Now with natural energy he can only guess. He kept mumbling, what a bunch of monsters, keep on changing prophecies. Did you say something? I asked, feigning ignorance. He just grumbled and thought a little before saying, you know about our dreams. The one you used to tell Hago Romo about Kaguya and a blue-eyed kid to seal her, yet I know it. His eyes widened a little and grumbled a little about some damn divine tree bullshit. I am surprised he is speaking to me about it. Something has changed. This is not like him. I was puzzled at his behavior. Yeah, that one, it changed. I had another one about a blue-eyed kid who was supported by a golden-haired one who shall bring all the world-entailed beasts together, and this time the one who seeks freedom shall have it, but there is something else that will affect the future. As he went on saying the rest, I kept my calm on the outside, but I had some complicated emotions inside. My eyes narrowed at the revelation. This might become troublesome. Things may not be the way he said, as I have already changed the prophecy once. If what he says is true, then there is only one reason for such change. I will try to contact the other me around that time for some answers. He gave me emergency contact for queries or something like that. This won't change my plans, but I need to be more alert during that time. I just sighed as he finished. There is no point thinking about it now, it will happen far in the future and I will keep an eye out for the kid. I need to keep on improving but future events won't let us rest and I don't want to limit their freedom in my dimension. Sigh. Let's see what decision they make. We need to travel the world first, then I will tell them about it. They need to have some awareness of the truth. He nodded and we finished some pleasantries and I want to leave the toad that was boring me. I took my leave. As I went back outside, I met with the others and we were ready to leave. So after a quick look around the area about what changes have been made, surprisingly there were very few. These toads are quite lazy. Let's go home. Chapter 23, Fight. After reaching home, I updated the seals around the area for any aura leaking, spying, natural energy gathering etc. Nodding in satisfaction with the work, I did some touch-up to hide them. I turned to look at all of my family members. They seem to have grown in height a little and are stronger too. I can see they have gotten better at controlling their aura as not even a bit is leaking, but they can't hide it. You have grown splendidly. They just smiled and their eyes gleamed with pride at my comment. Alright, don't get too full of yourself, come with me to my dimension. As we went to my dimension I released my transformation. My body assumed its original height as they looked at me in shock. I was double their height. Soon they got mesmerized by my appearance of gold and silver-haired fox with smooth and silky fur, as one could get lost in the sense of comfort it provided. I looked at them with a slight smile on my face. Soon two of my lovers came to me at a fast speed, even drooling a little. I just wrapped my tail around them. The rest were already used to our public display of affection. Was the process painful? Asked Matatabi as she looked at me in concern. I just sighed at the sight as even Kokuo's hold got tighter. I was in deep sleep due to sudden separation, which didn't let me feel any pain even if it was involved. So it went smoothly, don't worry. They were still a little worried but relaxed a little. After some rubbing and snuggling I released them and they pouted but asked, show us the human body. I just laughed and in an instant I transformed to my beautiful body, but this time I also included fox ears and 10 tails. This was my kitsune form. They were once again shocked at my transformation. They have never seen any human like me. Matatabi grasped me at full speed to do whatever you comprehend from those hollowed eyes, followed by Kokuo. I just disappeared and appeared above her head as she fell on the ground. Now, calm down a little both of you. They were shocked at my sheer speed. It was purely a physical move with no energy involved. This form is a little constrained for me as I can let loose in my fox form. But this should be enough for now. Now, come at me all together, let me test you the very first time. How far have you all come along? I will use 10 tails amount of power. Ready? They all tensed up as I disappeared again, only to appear far away from them. Aura around me changed as little killing intent started to leak out of me. They all got ready and surrounded me at a very fast speed. They knew better than to underestimate a 10-tailed beast. They seemed to form a strategy using mental links as 7 of them charged at me while Karama and Jayaki charged up a tailed beast bomb. I had a grin on my human face as I parried their tails and attacks which weren't strong enough to even scratch my current body. I used a staff formed using a truth-seeking ball and hit approaching Shikaku, Matatabi, and Kokuo in their gut hard enough to send them flying. Using a shadow clone, I attacked 2 of them while hitting Shikaku myself, and after the attack dispersed the clones and I looked at the rest. I flew in the air while approaching the rest one by one to punch them as they tried to dodge. They were barely able to do it. The 3 who were flown away also joined them in attacking me, as they dodged and parried the attacks from all directions. They were also using elements to harm me. I let them hit as they won't harm, but it was a decoy as Matatabi approached full of ferociousness and she hit me along with other elemental attacks using natural energy. I was sent flying downward. I could sense 2 huge compressed natural energies were fully powered up as I heard them shout Baiju Yodama, and the attack was launched and approached me at a very fast speed. Seeing through their plan, a smile graced my face and I decided to counter back. Soon something happened that shocked them to the core. I used my hand to block one of the bombs and kicked the other in the distance with my tail coated with natural energy. I easily grabbed the bomb and I lifted it up in the air and spoke in a cold voice which was filled with playfulness. Let me show you, true, Baiju Yodama. As I spoke, the bomb compressed till only coin size was left and there were several rings around it. I revolved a little natural energy on the outside of it as well to keep it stabilized. Do your best to dodge and not die. As my voice fell, they all got ready and put on their defense as they were about to spread out. I sent the attack at them. They all started to scatter. I purposely left a little gap between the mark and them, so that they don't suffer much. I watched as a huge explosion engulfed the place. A half of an ocean-size place just disappeared, and in that huge hole laid 9 figures covered in golden glow as the mark on their forehead shone. I watched everything from the sky with my tails fluttering behind me. This is so refreshing, although I avoid fighting as much as I could, but moving my body like that makes me feel free, as I can feel myself enjoying it, not like a battle maniac but like a fan who always wanted to have powers to move with this kind of freedom in their life. Chapter 24, Everyone's Human Body. Arriving in front of them and flicking them on their forehead, I spoke, "Don't get arrogant in the future even if you have the power. Power is for personal protection and use, not to torment others, but remember, if someone comes after our family, use all of your power to eradicate their existence from reality." I ended my sentence with a cold voice. But soon I was back in my fox form. "You all did well in all these, you have already far surpassed your original peak. Now who wants a human body? Remember, your power will decrease in human form, as only in this form can you give your 100% in fights, or if you want I can give you a body in the future." They seemed to think a little as Matatabi and Kokuo approached me and expressed that they want to transform. They never complained about why I hurt them during the fight, as they know that only by growing strong can they keep up with me, and I really love them for their passion and respond to them with the same. As I started setting up seals at 2 platforms in separate places far away from each other. The seals just modify their body, as their body is already perfect, unlike mine. They have natural energy inside their body. What this seal will do is increase the reserves naturally, and I also added 1 tael worth of my energy, which is already very much, which I divided in both of the sections. As they entered the seals, I approached the rest. "What are you thinking about so much? You can use a technique to transform in human temporarily if you want. That should be enough for now, as I send the details of the technique through our link. I only asked if you ever want to start a family, you can ask me." As I spoke with a grin, they just rolled their eyes at me and grumbled. "Now go and practice the technique to choose your appearance." As I spoke, they just started practicing, and after a minute started changing. I even sent some references to some of them if they needed to. Shikako looked like a teenager with arrogant expression, short hair. He is what you would call a young master. He had a dark skin tone with a smirk plastered on his face. His brown hair reached his bare chest with baggy brown pants on the bottom. Isabu looked like a young boy with grey hair and a cute face. He wore a burgundy shirt with black shorts, which I gave him as a reference. He is a true Shota. Son Goku looked like Goku, as I gave him his reference. He kept a single tail too, but he had red hair instead. He was wearing black kimono, which looked good on him. Saiken looked like a skinny guy with short white blue hair. He has droopy eyes full of energy. His body was covered in light blue shirt along with black pants and a white cloak covering his outfit. He jumped around in his body. "This body is amazing," he exclaimed, and others chuckled at his reaction. Next was Chmei. He transformed into a young man with purple hair. He wore a off-white t-shirt with brown pants. He has a handsome face, sharp features. "Whoa, this is my new lucky outfit, it looks good. I am lucky to have a big brother." I smiled a little at his enthusiasm. Jayaki also transformed. He was a little dark-skinned and had a muscular body. He was bald. I looked at him in shock. Well, it suits him, I guess. They say never judge a book by its cover in person, which is so in tune, as he is more caring and soft than he looks. He was wearing an all-black outfit along with a cloak. "Why don't you add an eye patch as well?" I rolled my eyes at his look. Of all the options I gave him, he liked this. I looked at Kurama with anticipation. He had yet to transform and was looking at others. "What are you waiting for? Hurry up and transform with the looks based on your soul and preferences like everyone." He just grumbled a little and had a blush, which I didn't notice due to his dark fur. As soon as he did, 7 jaws hit the ground. In front of was a 6 feet tall figure with dark orange hair waving in the air. He was wearing a yellow kimono with orange in the mix at the edges and black outfit, giving it a fire-like look. What caught our attention was his face, the most natural feminine face I have ever seen. He looked better than most women I have ever seen. What makes one believe his masculinity is only his Adam's apple and flat chest. I mean, look at Shikako blushing slightly and keep shaking his head. If that's any indication to run away from him, I don't know what's up with your face. "Do you want me to gouge your eyes?" he said, looking at all of them. Ugh, a Tsundere man who looks like a woman is twice as troublesome. Although his looks don't affect me so much, the Tsundere act makes me want to punch him. It takes sage-like control for me to avoid doing that. Let's wait for girls to come out, we can go around roaming the world. We went outside the dimension and waited for a half-month when I got a message that they had finished forming a body. I mostly stay in the human body to get used to it. I went in only to see 2 blurs rushing at me in full speed. I let them hug me as I looked at them and got stunned as my heart raced for who knows after how long. In front of me were the most beautiful and lovely women I have seen. One was 6 feet in height with blue hair with black and blue eyelashes and eyebrows, a fair face with feminine charm. She had warmth in her light blue eyes which looked at me full of love and care. She snuggles in my chest as I feel 2 bountiful and fluffy things on my chest. She has quite the curves. She is Matatabi who kissed me with all of the feelings filled in it. I responded to her in return with the same feelings. No fair. Me too, move away bitch. I turned to look at the little girl of height 4 feet looking at me with hollow dark blue eyes filled with her obsession for me. She may look like a little girl but she carries an aura of maturity and wisdom around her and in her eyes. I looked at her pouting and snuggling in my arms. I kissed her too with all of my feelings toward her as I did with Matatabi as that calmed her down as she wrapped her arms around me. I then hugged both of them around their waist as I looked at their body covered in white cloak like mine with 10 megatama. I think my chakra worked wonders for them as they were now twice as powerful than they were before. Chapter 25, Traveling and Flashback. We stayed like that for hours talking about what happened in this half a month and also told them that we will leave tomorrow traveling through different lands. As dawn came we gathered at the entrance of the temple. I used wood-style chakra to create a carriage as they were common means of transportation for our traveling. It's pretty common for ordinary people and ninja rarely use them as they are slow. With my affinity with nature I can communicate with all the beings of nature like animals, so I used it to ask 2 horses to accompany us while I will provide them with food. With my natural affinity with them and allure of food made it easy for negotiation. I hate forcing living beings into submission or doing things for me. The others even asked me why, to which I said I don't like doing things to others that I don't want to be done to me. For example, I hate when someone is being arrogant and overbearing in front of me, so I don't like that with others. Sometimes these nature-loving animals have more humanity than some humans. As I stroked the horse everyone entered the carriage which was bigger than a room of ours from the inside. Seals can be pretty fun to play with. I used a clone to guide the horses as I sat with others watching a display showing the outside eating food on the table I made. Everything used by us is already the best quality one could find on this continent. We passed through the jungles and went to a nearby village. Well, there are not any hidden villages yet, so these are ordinary villages. We parked the carriage near an inn and I let the clone under transformation technique guard it. Except for the 7 using the transformation technique, we changed clothes for our travels. I was wearing a loose pure black kimono which had golden linings on it which matched my hair. On my left was Matatabi wearing a dark blue kimono which was wrapped around her perfectly, not too loose, not too tight. Kokuo on the right was wearing a light bluish white one which had a mixture of blue and white thread work. I was stunned when I first saw them. Flashback. As I came out of the room I saw the 2 women whom I loved more than anything. I was stunned as I saw both of them in their respective clothing. Matatabi had her hair tied up in a bun which showed her long nape. Kokuo looked so stunning in her long hair flowing like a river on her clothes. I opened my Rein Sharingan in an instant to take photographs in my mind of both of them. As I approached them with hollow eyes. I think I would have to kill humans today if they tried to have any thoughts about you. As I kissed them one by one. Both of them shared the same look. We might need to do the same with the horse ogling you like a meat. One more photo. Why don't I use seals to let them not notice us unless we approach them actively? They nodded at the thought. I made these in an instant. It's definitely not the first seal I made when I saw their appearance. Nope, it's just an idea came to mind. Yeah, it was a breakthrough in my seal research. Even if the seal may be elementary level. Flashback end. Now we were walking and looking for clothing stores for ideas. They had some good ideas for clothes all over the nation, but they didn't have necessary skills as well as material to execute the plans. We can use the idea to form clothing with our natural energy. As we walked we got many food items we liked while seeing them. We paid for them using money I got my clone to collect from some bandits. Killing humans was nothing new to me. When we tried they were not that good. They are not as good as yours, brother. Yep, I make food, learned it in my free time as I got the cooking technique from the system. Flashback once more. I miss spending time with both of the girls, I thought as I rolled on the bed. It feels lonely sleeping without them. We may not have done the deed yet, but we like sleeping in each other's presence. I wonder how they felt in all those almost 300 years. I was horrified at the revelation at the thought of being away from them for such a long time. So to make up for them I started learning cooking as I want to make a special meal for them as they come back. I asked the system if he has any technique for helping me in cooking. It sent the info directly to my head. Ability update. Cooking LVL 1. As an amateur in cooking, you know about all the ingredients used in cooking. You are able to form combination of several ingredients in your cooking at basic level. As I entered the dimension, I used all the time I can get to train my cooking skill, and cooking is not easy. You need patience and calmness to work with some ingredients. It took me a year to reach level 3 in cooking. I may not be talented in cooking, but I was already above normal 5-star chefs in cooking. Cooking is a diverse and vast topic which is not even fully explored even on Earth, and they have such a low level due to not having all the ingredients and their knowledge, which I have, which already puts me above them. As I cook with passion for my siblings, they started loving my food and eat it daily. It also helps me in practice. System doesn't help me in skill. It only provides me with skill details and everything about them. I have to use my talent and hard work to nurture those skills. As time went on, the day I met them again, I talked to them about how I felt about leaving them alone for so long, and they just hugged me and said the day they saw me again was all worth the wait. After that, a new session of kissing and groping started, and I told them about my cooking and cooked for them later. I will never eat anything other than this, Matatabi exclaimed as she ate the food while squirming, and Kokuo just nodded as she seemed in her own world, rubbing her legs together. I smiled at them, and then we went to bed after some kissing and mouth cleaning. Flashback ends.
Thanks for listening.